and sending the smoke strings, nigga.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
We got him out of here, baby. Yeah. Bob Thibodeau. It was nice knowing you, brother.
Flea, I'm not gonna lie. I had it queued up.
We can't even hear
Do you hear it?
I can hear it.
Y'all don't hear that?
I can hear it. Loud and clear.
Y'all don't hear that? Look, as long as Flea smile, I'm all right. That's
I'm good. I can hear it. I can hear it.
I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. I had it queued up, Flea.
I can hear it.
He said, y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Woo. Hold on, let me just get one time. I know you got to cut this part out because of the music. As long as Flea smile, we good. Woo.
Set it up on the left, y'all. Set it up.
Set it off. Yeah. Set it up. That's all I wanted. My brother chose violence. I put a smile on his face. Let's go.
Good.
That's all I wanted to see. Let's go, baby.
Let's get to it.
Fuck that. 31 people in the building. Let's get in. Let's get the people in. Everybody that wanted Tom Thibodeau here, everybody that wanted Tom Thibodeau gone, let's get them in the building. We here. It's on and popping. It's Tuesday. I was shocked. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a prank. I was hugging people at work like I hit the lottery. I couldn't believe it, ladies and gentlemen.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, baby.
Act like an adult. Act like an adult. Act like you know the game of basketball. Act like you understand how this shit works. You running around.
Hold on.
My happiness. It
running
will
around
not
hugging strangers like a goofy.
There's no argument for ruining my happiness. You can't do it. You won't do it. You will be unsuccessful, just like Tom Thibodeau was as a New York Knicks head coach.
Unsuccessful.
Let's go.
Unsuccessful.
Let's
you
go.
Starting off sounding stupid.
Let's
Why
go.
You starting off sounding dumb?
All balls, suckers. Yeah.
For the next
you know
hour,
that
I'm
is.
gonna spank you. For the next hour, the biggest. Fuck out of here. For the next hour, I'm gonna spank you.
You know who I am. I came with some shit today. What you talking about?
You coming with nothing but
they're not gonna do it.
Talk and
it
no
can't
facts.
be stopped. I played the rock music on the way here. It's over. Set it off on the left. Set it off on the right. Leon Rose said, hey, it's time to go, brother. Had no idea. Y'all heard the news. It's only 47 people in the building. We need more of you guys in the building. What the hell is going on? You see the pinned comment in the chat. Shop AllBall, baby. Please support. I was going to share it. I don't have no time for that. Because I like Flea's seriousness right now. AllBall's trying to find a way to mingle in between and tap dance.
I can't wait till November.
He can't do it.
I can't wait till November. I can't wait. This summer is going to be a long... I can't wait till November. Lord have mercy. I cannot wait to laugh at you two old light-skinned niggas. I cannot fucking wait till November comes and I'm laughing at you two niggas as we struggle to win. Oh my God. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you. So we can expose all you niggas out here.
I wish y'all take phone. James, I will do so later if you stick around. They might not stick around, but I'm here. I'm too happy today. You kidding me? Listen, you heard the voices. AllBall's trying to keep himself composed. After losing 4-2 to them Indiana Pacers, we had one guy in particular on the dartboard. If this was a RICO case, he'd be at the head of that clip. This is why we losing out here in these streets. Y'all know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all. Fleece too mad to say it. I don't care.
You
Let's get
handle it.
started.
You fucking handle it, super producer. You handle it.
Oh, man.
You handle
All
it.
in his feelings.
You fucking
He was
handle it.
dead wrong. Let's keep it going.
You handle it.
Tom Thibodeau, New York Knicks head coach, or was, has been fired, let go by the New York Knicks after, I want to say 5 years of service. Amazing turnaround by Tom Thibodeau for the New York Knicks, as the New York Knicks was stinking it up prior to his arrival.
Fuck are you saying all that for, Fabian? Let's get to it. You don't dress shit up. You ain't gotta dress nothing up. Let's get to it. You doing a lot of dressing.
You gotta show a man some respect, my brother.
For what? He was unsuccessful. You dressing shit up. Let AllBall take this floor. You doing all this goofy dancing. Let's get to business. Let's get to it.
Listen.
Get the fuck out of here.
You could be all agitated all you want to, but we can show a man some respect.
Nah, fuck him. He's not our coach no more. Ain't no need to respect him, right?
People are saying thank you. I would say thank you for him turning this thing around, helping turn this around, helping bring Jalen Brunson into the building. We finally made an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. But the bottom line is Tom Thibodeau was being blamed for a lot for the defense. For the offensive end, not playing his bench in the right rotations. Plenty of criticisms throughout his career. Similar criticism throughout every other team. AllBall. We've been talking about it his whole tenure. You wanted him gone the entire time he was the New York Knicks head coach. How do you feel upon hearing about the exodus of Tom Thibodeau as a New York Knicks head coach?
I'm happy. I'm gonna say this, and me and Flea got this thing now where when I say this, he laughs. 99.9% I am wrong. Look, see, I told y'all, but that 0.0000, whatever that number is, give me my props when I'm right. How long have I been saying it? I said it in the beginning of the season, before the season started. Tom Thibodeau was on the clock. I said it last year. Tom Thibodeau was on the hot seat. I'm very happy, but I wanna be serious about this take. I don't want to troll. I don't want to clown. I want to be for real for one moment.
Let Fabian do that.
Right?
We go.
Tom Thibodeau.
Point, we gotta relax and be adults and let people talk.
Nah,
you gotta call nobody no names. You gotta call nobody no names.
You've been goof trooping for the last 8 minutes.
We gotta call nobody no. Listen, all the goofy talk, this, that, and the third. We ain't gotta call nobody no names.
Brother,
let's chill out.
Stop.
Nah, I ain't stopping nothing. We're gonna stop cutting people off. Let them give their adult take like he wanted to. AllBall, the floor is back to you.
Tom Thibodeau should have been fired last season. I've been saying this. So to me, this is why he was fired. 2 years in a row, you had home court advantage. You were the better team by record-wise. You had an MVP top 6, 7 candidate last season. This season, you had 2 starting all-stars, all NBA, plus player of the year. In 2 years in a row, with home court advantage, you lost to the Indiana Pacers. You wait till game 3 to make adjustments. You look like a dead headlights every single game. Not you rarely challenge calls. You rarely get a technical foul defending your players. And big shout out Jeff T. Y'all seen the clip I sent y'all. Jeff T played for Tom Thibodeau. And his words verbatim was, Tom Thibodeau doesn't coach. All he does is yell. He doesn't tell you where to go, what to do. He doesn't do anything. I've been saying this forever. How long have I been saying that man sits on the sideline, folds his arms, and says nothing? Once again, the Knicks made the right decision. When we lost to the Pacers, I said I'm done being a Knicks fan unless they fire Tom Thibodeau. And Lord have mercy, a couple days later, I'm back being a Knicks fan. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not giving him props. I'm not giving him props because he didn't turn nothing around. I said it on Knicks Rehab the other day. He rode the coattail of Jalen Brunson. Now, at times, Jalen Brunson he drives us crazy with just can't play defense and just some of the turnovers and just the decisions he makes with the ball in his hand. But we have to be honest, no Jalen Brunson, none of this happens. What Jalen Brunson did last season with everybody injured had nothing to do with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau said, here you go, Jalen Brunson, and bring us home. Jalen Brunson single-handedly last season got us to the 2 seed. Randall hurt, no Mitchell Robinson, OG in and out of the lineup. That was all Jalen Brunson. That had nothing to do with Tom Thibodeau. Then you fast forward this season, we get Bridges, we get Cat, we get a healthy OG. And he still plays Josh Hart the most minutes. You're a defensive coach. We the worst defensive team in the NBA. Now, a la Cat and Brunson is terrible defensively, probably no matter where they at. But where's your defensive schemes for Bridges, OG, Shamit, Precious? So for me, I think this is the first step for us really understanding that we can go for a championship. I guarantee this year with a better head coach, we will be playing in the finals this Thursday. Guarantee that. You don't lose your first 2 home games against a team that you're better than. I know everybody want to keep saying, oh, you can't keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying it. You can't beat Boston and then lose to Indiana and you have home court advantage. Tom Thibodeau got exposed. And God willing, Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges is next because they bum asses got exposed. A lot of things got exposed in the playoffs. And hopefully after that, Cat fucking ass get out of here and get exposed. Yeah, I'm being for real. What happened with Tom Thibodeau is the Knicks got a taste of success. You can't go backwards now. You can't go backwards. So y'all telling me with this roster, with that coach and the way he coaches, next season we're going to be in this same situation again? I highly doubt it. We have a taste for success, and the organization and GM said to themselves, Tom Thibodeau was not the guy to move forward. He doesn't know how to coach. Our defense is terrible. He has no connection with the players. He has no connection with anybody. Look at the coaching staff he picks. Like, come on, man. Enough is enough. Now, I don't know who we're going to get. I'll leave that for another lie because now we have to do our due diligence and say who we think should get the job. But there's no way in the world anybody, and I've been saying it forever, and I'm going to give Flea the floor in about 30 seconds. Nobody was ever going to convince me Tom Thibodeau was a good head coach. Like I said, Chicago Bulls, prime D Rose, won conference finals. You had a prime Butler, Cat, Andrew Wiggins. You did nothing in Minnesota. And then now you get a ready-made team in New York. And you did nothing. Like I said, you got to the conference finals and you got exposed. You cannot lose back-to-back seasons, and one is a chance to get to the finals when you're the better team with the better players. It's everybody see you get out coached, and it wasn't even close. Everybody seeing you get out coached. So for me, I think this is the right move. There's going to be more moves to make, but I think the number one move, they finally got it right. You have to get rid of the coach because once again, next season with other teams coming in that's going to be healthy and going to be better and probably making moves, this roster constructed with that coach who has no type of offensive mind, and we know for a fact defensively, I told y'all my motto. In Boston, I don't think he was a defensive guru because when you got Garnett, Rondo, Ray Allen, when you got dogs over there, I don't think he coached that defense how people made it out to be. So for me, I'm kudos to the Knicks because you can't lose in this fashion and expect that coach to still be there when you have coaches that won championships, that were coach of the years and got fired. Why should Tom Thibodeau be special? Get his bum ass the fuck out of here. And before I give the ball to Flea, if y'all not gonna listen to me, listen to a player that played for him. Jeff Teague said it. Tom Thibodeau doesn't coach. What else more do we need to see? What else more do we need to hear? I said it all season. Everybody laughed at me. I said Tom Thibodeau on that sideline ain't doing shit. He trying to get fired. I said, now one time have I seen Tom. You can't name out of an 82-game season and in the playoffs, you can't name 5 times where you went, God damn, that was a great coaching job by Tom Thibodeau. You can't do it. He sits on the sideline like this and does nothing. So for me, I think this is the first step. But I agree with what Flea always says. There has to be a plan in place. I don't think the front office would do this without there being a plan in place. But listen, kudos to Leon and them because I was on their ass too, and I'm not saying pause. Because, like I said, to keep him, all that shit for Bridges. And so for me, word is Tom Thibodeau, he called a lot of shots. Josh Hart played too many minutes. Josh Hart played the worst basketball that we've ever seen in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you still kept him on the floor. You didn't know what to do with Mitchell Robinson. And then here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. And the ball is yours, Flea. You didn't know how to coach Obi Toppin. And then Obi Toppin comes back and bites you in your ass, and that's who beat you to get to the finals. To me, that right there was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm sorry. The floor is yours, Flea.
Oh. All balls 30 seconds is an eternity, as all people put it. We know Flea doesn't agree with this. The toothpick is not here, so we're safe, y'all. I don't see a toothpick in sight, so I'm safe. Y'all are safe. Flea. It's been a long couple years. You've been riding for your man. Today is a day that we kind of saw coming, but not so soon, especially after these playoffs. We didn't get that indication of Tom Thibodeau getting fired. What's your reaction to Tibbs' tenure and the firing in general?
I didn't want to disrespect you earlier, so I apologize. My bad. If
you just have to
felt
calm down.
A little emotional, right? Because I see this very, very different. And why I see this different is because, like, I'm looking at the game very different. And this is not a better than type of thing. This is not high horse type shit. I'm just looking at it very, very different. Respectfully, OG lied a lot in the first 15 minutes of his soliloquy. He didn't tell the truth a lot of during his 15-minute soliloquy. He just did. There was a lot of inaccuracies. There was a lot of false narratives. It just wasn't the truth on a lot of the things he says. He doesn't like me doing, so I'm not going to do that. But it just, some of the things he said just wasn't true. So let's talk about prior to where we was.
Flea, no. What did I say that wasn't?
Let's talk.
Flea.
I'm sorry?
Flea, we real brothers. No, tell me where I lied at. Let's have this discussion. Tell me where I lied at.
Where's the toothpick at?
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Just let me cook. Just be patient. Okay. I'll get there. Just be patient. I'll get there.
Okay.
Prior to us hiring this dude, we were on a 7-year drought, 8-year drought of actually playing past April. Right? Once April came, you could pack us up. You ain't gonna see us in the postseason, right? You didn't watch the Knicks in the playoffs. I didn't. Fabian did. Probably nobody in the chat did, right? So then we bring in this guy whose reputation is a little up and down. At the end of the day, whether we agree with his tactics, how he did things, it was effective and it changed from a losing laughing stock. We were the laughing stock of the NBA. We're the laughing stock of the NBA prior to this dude walking through the door. And it's easy for us to be arrogant ass fucking New Yorkers to where we thump our chest because we smell a little bit of victory. Just a little bit. We ain't even get a championship yet, but we so arrogant. Fabian, hold on.
I'm not trying to give you a stat real quick.
What you
Tibbs
got?
has 79 more regular season wins than the New York's previous 5 head coaches combined.
Man, the
he
last
has 17
2
more
seasons-
playoff wins than the franchise's 12 previous head coaches combined.
The last 2 seasons, he has doubled or tripled the amount of playoff wins Ty Lue has, the amount of playoff wins Steve Kerr has, the amount of playoff wins Eric Spoelstra has. He's doubled and tripled their fucking numbers, right? So, like, I'm okay with moving on. But what I'm not okay with is acting like these last 5 years was not different than the previous 5 years. That's the part where you're lying. You're not telling the truth. And for you to sit here and act like you didn't watch good basketball, you couldn't root for your team. The only reason you could be on social media talking shit is because we were good. You couldn't talk if we was the way we was prior to Tibbs. You couldn't even show your face to be a Knicks fan if we was what we was prior to then. So you got to slow down with talking like we was some gang beaters prior to him walking through the door. The culture was changed. We started winning basketball games. We started playing in the postseason. All shit you or none of us was used to prior to him. So all I'm saying is the dirt that we throwing on him and acting like he did such a shit job is weird. It's weird. And it don't even make sense. It makes zero sense. So we move on from that. It's not his fault. Brunson is a shit defender. He can't go out there and teach Jalen Brunson to be a better defender. It's not his fault that Karl Anthony Towns is a bad defender. The 2 guys that I just named happen to be our 2 best players, by the way. 2 best players.
Flea, hold no. Stated, can I ask you a question?
No, you cannot, because I didn't ask you nothing.
No,
I'm saying is, hold on.
hold on. No, he listen. Listen, he could be rude. It's okay. I listen.
I ain't saying
no, hold on. The 2 players you just named is pertaining to them. Before Tom Thibodeau was a Knicks head coach, was he considered one of the great minds defensively as a coach?
Yes.
Why couldn't he teach Brunson and Cat any type of defense? Just asking a question.
Principles. If you're an NBA player,
okay,
I should be able to tell you. I'm answering. I should be able to tell you this is the schemes that we are running, so you should know where to be. You're an NBA pro. Jalen Brunson, you played for Jay Wright. You call Jalen Brunson a winner his whole career, right? So he's played under some great leadership, some great coaches. If he gets to New York now and doesn't understand how to get through a pick and roll, how to play defense, that is not Tom Thibodeau's fault. He came from a defensive-minded coach in Jason Kidd and Rick Carlisle. So Jay Wright. So cut it out with Tom Thibodeau got to teach this nigga something. That don't make no sense. 0 sense. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. My issue, and my only issue is that we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. The first time in 25 years. Some of the best Knicks basketball we've seen in recent years. For us to now turn around and fire the head coach with 0 plan in place gives me cause to pause. I don't know if there's a guy that could walk through the door right now and catapult us from where we're at. I just feel like this is a recipe to take some steps back. Now we got to change the expectations of our New York Knicks going into next season. For the last 3 to 4 years, every team that has lost in the Eastern Conference Finals has made it to the NBA Finals. If we want to keep up with that trend, we'll make the NBA Finals next year. But with us making a major coaching change and we are suspect on defense, that does not give me confidence going into next year saying no matter what coach we walk through the door. And the nerve of us, here's the other shit. Arrogant ass New Yorkers again. The nerve of us to think that coaches are clamoring to come coach the Knicks. Who the fuck do we think we are? We're not some team that is like, this has this great history and people are fiending to walk through the door to be a part of this Knicks organization. Like, we got to start acting like who we are. We just started winning. We just started bringing the city back on fire. This is all new shit. And we acting like we've been here the last 10 years. This is all new shit. And it could quickly go back to being a laughing stock. It could quickly go back to you hiding and not showing your face for months on end with the type of shit we doing right now. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. Do we have to trust Leon Rose? 100%. but I'm very, very wary on what is about to happen when niggas ain't knocking down the door to come coach Karl Anthony Towns. Niggas ain't Mike Malone is not thirsting to come coach Jalen Brunson, who can't stop a parked car. These niggas is not fiending to walk through the door. So, okay. You want us to continue? What are your expectations next year? What's your expectations next year, OG?
Championship.
Okay. Championship. What needs to happen now that we fired the coach? What needs to happen now?
We need to get a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, which I've been saying all season.
Who? Now we here. We here now.
I got
now we can't play no more guest games. Now we here.
Fleet, listen, Fleet. Once again, I asked you a question a while ago. I said, if you won the NBA, would you like to play for Tom Thibodeau? What was your answer?
I said no.
What was your answer?
I have other choices.
No, hold on. So why are you making it seem like we're saying something so crazy? Flea, hold on. Flea, I always tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk.
I just broke down.
Flea, hold on.
12 minutes. Y'all confused
once again,
supporter, but I love the Knicks. We've watched the Knicks be shit organization for years, and now
Fabian, hold on, Fabian. Let me ask Flea this. Let me ask Flea this. Okay, I'm not calling you a Thibodeau. I'm not calling you none of that. I'm asking you. I always tell you, your basketball mind is like no other. I always tell you that. Smart brother when it comes to a lot of shit. But the game of basketball, listen. He can't get the job done when it needs to get done. I'm just asking you, how do you move forward with a coach that last season you were the favorites, you had home court advantage, you lose in Game 7 to the Pacers, and then this season, all throughout the season, you struggle with Atlanta, you struggle with Chicago, you struggle with Toronto, you get in the playoffs, you struggle with Detroit. We beat Boston. Now, Indiana Pacers, you lose the first 2 games at home, and then you put up a stinker 2 more times in the playoffs. I'm asking you, how do you keep a coach like that?
You're repeating yourself at this point.
What?
You're repeating yourself, and to be honest with you, that don't matter. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, guess what? We're gonna pivot now. And your expectations always are going to be championship. We are going to be here in January talking about how bad the Knicks are at the moment. We are. I promise you that. I promise you at the top of the year, we're going to be fighting hands and tooth and nail about why we're struggling to win games. Unless there is this overhaul, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You keep talking about Game 7 last year when we were shorthanded.
Yeah.
When we were shorthanded last year. Shorthanded. Dante DiVincenzo almost has 40 for us to win that game. We come back, we step up another level. We get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now you're telling me that we got to pull the plug on him and have no clue what the plan is. Okay, cool. Then we got to change the expectations for this New York Knicks team going forward. Realistic expectations. And if you think we're going to be a championship team next year, you're on that boat all year long by yourself again. Prove it to me now. Let's prove it to me that we a championship team. Why y'all think Mike Malone is going to kick down the door to come coach us? Why do you think any coach is going to kick down the door to come coach us?
Well, I think that's really one of your only hiccups while you're talking. There's no way possible you watch Phil Jackson rob us, Derek Fisher rob us, Fizdale rob us, D'Antoni rob us. Tibbs just robbed us. He just made bro. Let me tell you something. I never will understand anybody that's talking like this right now. We just saw Mike Malone get fired a week before the playoffs, right?
It's a bad move.
Everybody agrees it was ugly. That was nasty, unprofessional. Unprofessional at the very least. But very similar to Tibbs, from what a lot of players are saying, it doesn't matter though, because who the hell fires a coach right before the playoffs when you have an MVP caliber dude, whatever the case may be? This is the total opposite of that. It's been with kid gloves that he's being treated. They traded Julius Randle, who was his guy that he never talked crap about in the media ever, and they traded him for Cat, and they said, yo, you got one more season with Cat.
I'm talking
guess what?
nonsense. Yo, I realized that the fandom takes over before y'all really want to analyze basketball. It's really the fandom that fanatics.
If you think that's fine.
Y'all
if
been
you
watching
think
the game longer than I have. Are you kidding me?
That's fine. And if you want to consider it fanatic, listen, it doesn't matter how you describe it, bro. I don't really care at this point because you want to be disruptive. That's on you. But I'm telling you that they gave him Cat. They said you got one more chance with this guy, and if you can't get it done, you're out of here. But when they did that, they gave him 4 extra years with $40 million. What is so bad about that? You failed. You were down 0-2 with home court advantage. That is insane. That does not happen.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
Where is the joke?
This is a joke because we finally get somewhere where we can be proud of the team that we have. But meanwhile, we're finding all these ways to discredit the coach, right? Because we didn't win a championship. For sure. We didn't win a championship.
Forget it, yo. See, again, that's all.
Y'all talking like y'all Ant-Man right now.
Hold on.
Y'all expect us to be in the Eastern Conference Finals next year?
Once again,
that's a joke.
Once again, that's
a joke.
I never expected a championship, so I ain't talking about that. What I'm talking about is how did you play the game? How did you get this done? Is it anywhere? Everybody could take the blame, right? AllBall plays the blame pie. Okay, if you as a coach have that much blame on your plate, that's a problem. And it's not the first season either. Last year, I said it, and we won the series against Philly. Yo, we should have swept them. That's crazy. Why did you wait to play Achua in the 4th game of the series? Why did you decide to play Mitchell Robinson 30 minutes the first game, and Mitchell Robinson, then you gave him 20 minutes the game number 2? That means you knew going into the series, the athletic center gave Embiid problems. You knew that, but you chose to go against that and still wait to give Achua, don't play Achua until game 4. That's coaching. That should have been a sweep. The MVP's on one leg. Philly looked like the best team in the league when Embiid was healthy. He went down. They no longer looked that way. They were a 7th seed. They climbed back into the playoffs, and we struggled to beat them. That ties into the next series when we lose OG in them. We're playing extra games and we don't have to. Same thing with this series, this playoffs. We shouldn't have played that many games against Detroit. We shouldn't have played that extra game against Boston. And now that's 2 extra games we have to play. And now we're playing the Pacers. Tired as hell. And again, after 2 games, the criticism has always been, yo, you don't know how to rotate these players. I've never said, forget them being tired. Yo, play the right players at the right time so they can maximize each other's talent. Deuce and Mitch. I said it the whole series. What's so hard about that? And it took you 3 games in the Eastern Conference Finals to do that? Yes, he deserves to be fired. You're on the cusp of going to the championship. That means that you're still making mistakes before you even reach the chip. These are championship decisions you have to make, and you're not making them. That's all. So when we get like this worked up about holding him down, I understand defending what he's done. I'm with that. Cool. But I'm past that. You did that. You accomplished that. But to get up here, that ain't you. You can't get this done. When it's crunch time, you clam up. We seen it. You know the lineups to put out there. Why aren't you putting them out there? Why does somebody have to remind you again? That's been my whole thing with Tibbs. Bro, this is not, it's just, you're not meant to be a championship coach, and it's okay. Am I dancing on your grave and all that? Yeah. I don't know. I get to do that because it's just, I'm right, and I feel like it's beyond relief. I didn't think that Leon Rose would get rid of that guy. That's family to them. That's the part to me that when people make certain, that's the part that's not funny. That's his man. Imagine you having to fire me, please. That's your man. So I get it. But if I deserve it, if I can't get you to the next level, guess what? I gotta go. It's a hard decision to make, and Leon Rose knows. He's got bought out by CAA. They're now probably the biggest agency up there with William Morris, whoever the hell else. That's big time business. They're in New York City. That is the second largest, most valuable organization in basketball. This is not time for play. We could take it another level. Hey, Tibbs, you in the way. You gotta go. It's big business, big dog. We got Brunson here. It's time for the family to really get this thing going, man.
I mean, for me, that Eastern Conference Finals that we just played against the Pacers is proof that he cannot get you to the next level. I don't know what else people need to see. Game 1, we had all the momentum, beating Boston. We for sure, the world knew the Knicks is going to the finals, something we haven't done in 18 years. You blow a 17-point lead with under 7 minutes left, a 15-point lead with 2 minutes left, a 10-point lead with a minute left. You blow that game. All right, cool. Game 2, we down 3 with more than 10 seconds left. You have a timeout. You don't call a timeout. No telling what would have happened in that game if you called a timeout, but you didn't call a timeout. Then in game 6, you had no answers for anything. Throughout the season, you played Josh Hart the most minutes, and he's maybe the 4th best player on the team. I don't know what else people need to see, but I've been saying it, and I stand on it. He was never a good head coach. I don't know what culture people say he brought here. The New York Knicks as a city always had a certain type of culture. Yeah, we was dirt before he came. We ain't had no good players. Listen, you can respond. You don't have to agree. Like you said, I've been lying all this time. Cool, bye. What you want me to do? Once again, I don't know what culture people is saying that Knicks, that Tom Thibodeau brought to the Knicks. He's not a good head coach. That's my opinion. Y'all don't have to agree. I'm not arguing. Hold on.
It's not about, but
tonight we're not cutting nobody off. I'm not arguing with none of y'all tonight. I'm just not doing it. I've been right on this. When I'm wrong, I get trolled. When I'm right, nobody says anything. I've been saying it. Yo, Tom Thibodeau's on the hot seat. No, he not. Yes, he is. He better coach his ass off this season or he's out of here. His ass got out of here.
And it ain't no buy. I'm cooking dinner. Like, you thought I was gonna run from this? Like,
but
fuck out
it ain't nothing to run to.
But here's my problem with that, old boy. You can't say he's on the hot seat. The hot seat of what? That's where me and you have a disconnect. The hot seat for what? What are you? This ain't a hot seat of trash. This is a hot seat. There's a rocket ship going on right now. He helped make this thing relevant.
No, I said before the season started, when we got Cat, which nobody knew that trade was coming, you trade for Mikal Bridges. And then we knew eventually Mitchell Robinson was going to play this season. I said verbatim, Tom Thibodeau's on the hot seat. He better get to a finals. He has the team. Nobody believed this team could get to the finals. Nobody. Me.
That's fine. That's fine. But that's not the I don't want to speak for Flea, but that's not the argument. The argument is that even before that, you had him as trash. So that's the problem. You can't say, I don't care about culture. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. You traded for all these guys to be a part of this thing that we got going on. And they started last year. That if it wasn't for injuries, we would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the part that I don't understand. How do you say F culture and now we're here with this culture?
Because that's what he does. That's what he does. That's what he does. That's what he does.
That's what I does. Yeah,
that's what he does. He's not going to tell the truth. He's going to tell the truth about what we.
All right, Flea. What culture Tom Thibodeau brought to the Knicks? What culture did he bring? I want to hear.
Winning.
Okay, right.
Actually winning fucking games. Winning over 50 games.
Right.
Playing in the postseason.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
Shit that you ain't seen in years, nigga.
Not knowing how to adjust.
What the fuck?
Not knowing how to adjust. Not knowing what lineups to put in. He did that, right? Okay,
something that actually be proud of. You wasn't hiding no more.
Then he wouldn't have been fired.
You said he wouldn't have been fired. You said it yourself. Before Tibbs walked through the door, you were hiding. You did not watch Knicks games. I said we didn't have the players. We didn't have the players. Now that we have the players. You said out your mouth, I did not watch Knicks games prior to Tibbs walking through the door. No. Why did you say
you ain't gonna sit there and lie on me. Ho. No, I said we didn't have them. So I said we didn't. I said before Tibbs came, we were shit. We didn't have the players.
Did you watch?
Any team is going to be shit. Look at the Washington. Listen, look at the Washington Wizards. They ain't got the players, so they shit.
Were you proud of that team, AllBall? Come on now.
Look, listen, Flea. You mad your guy got fired, bro. That's why you mad.
That's not, I'm not, you know what? You know why I'm mad? I'm going to tell you why I'm mad, and I'm going to be quiet and let y'all finish. I am upset because we have created a level of consistency that could quickly go like this and turn the other way. And you could act like that can't happen. Bro, Phoenix was in the finals. They fired that coach. They ran and got 2 other coaches. They fired them immediately after the season. They fired Bud after they went to the finals. Then they fired Frank Vogel, a championship coach. They fired him the next season. They fired, Monty Williams. Then they fired Vogel. Then they fired Bud. What I'm saying is, why are we exempt from going into a whirlwind with just one move? Why are we exempt from that? Why are we not thinking about the foundation that we laid and how important it is to make the right move going forward? That is what I'm annoyed about. I don't give a fuck about Tom Thibodeau. I'm just saying, I know that I watched winning basketball the last few years. And to make a move like that, you gotta be in the mindset of, how do we go like this and not plateau? And if we're trying to go like this, the next guy that walks through the door is championship or bust. And if that's the type of pressure on that dude, it better be a damn good coach walking through the door. If you guys can't understand that angle from me, then I'm gonna shut the fuck up for the rest of the night and get off of here. If you can't understand that, then I don't know. I don't know how else to explain that. This is not about Tibbs no more. This is about maintaining the level of what we created. We are a winning ball club now. You can expect the Knicks to be in the playoffs. You can expect us to make deep runs. Is that going to continue to happen when we already struggled defensively and we about to bring a new voice in? That just turns the key. It don't work like that is what I'm saying. And if y'all not thinking about that and y'all are just celebrating over just Tibbs getting fired, the reality will quickly kick in November 1st when we start the season. That's all I'm saying. If niggas can't get that, then I don't know what I'm talking. Then I'm delusional, like the chat is saying and like y'all saying, which I'm fine with that.
I think either I've done a terrible job of communicating with you that we fully understand exactly what you're saying, because if you don't understand that everything you're talking about right now about remaining a consistent culture, if not more so beyond that, elevating it, that's what we're looking forward to. I was dead wrong.
And the example I gave were
it's
coaches
perfect.
that they thought would elevate. They thought Frank Vogel would elevate from Monty Williams. They
Stay there.
thought Budenholzer would elevate over Frank Vogel. Did it happen, OG? Hold on, Fabian. Did it happen?
No. Come on now. Hold on.
Did it happen?
It did not happen. We all know that.
It did happen.
Stay right there. Because now let's exercise your example. Who is the GM over there?
Where?
In Phoenix.
James Johnson.
James Jones.
Jones, excuse me.
Right? Okay. Now, is there a difference in upper management over there in Phoenix going on? He was a constant, but it's not just the coach that got changed. What else got changed? It's the ownership, the players.
But then, Fabian, don't play semantics with me, bro. It could easily turn into we start a coaching carousel. Y'all saw that for 17 years. We had 17 different coaches.
Yes.
Why y'all act like we're not exempt?
Listen, listen, we got to stop this. I stopped blaming Dolan when Phil Jackson robbed him.
You know who's in the meeting today? You know who was in the meeting today with Tibbs and Leon Rose? You know who was there? Huh?
Isaiah Thomas?
No, James Dolan was in the meeting today.
Oh, yes.
They walked out Tibbs.
They went. He had to go to James Dolan because it was not just a thing with them. He wanted to make sure he got this from their owner. The permission from his owner. Cool. But we can't just use Phoenix as an example. And then when we break it down.
I have plenty more if you need me to. I have plenty more.
Yes, but we can also point to the fact that in James Dolan's case, which is way different than everybody else's, the man who inherited the company from his pops and all that, and he's been there for 25 years running it, we've seen what the ups and downs of it. But when he chose to finally let it go after Donnie Walsh, we saw what happened. What happened with Carmelo. He brought in Phil Jackson. I thought, oh, damn, competent basketball mind. It makes sense. And he robbed us. But ever since then, I can't blame Dolan because he left it up to a basketball mind. And then he went around and said, you know what? All these general managers going around the league are former agents. Let me go get the biggest agent that there ever was in the last 25 years, damn near. The guy who had LeBron, Carmelo, Allen Iverson. He had all the stars, all the connections. He got that guy. Oh, that's a bold move. Let's see what he does. They got Randall, couldn't get KD and Kyrie. I'm happy because KD and Kyrie are bugging to me. And they did it anyway. They somehow withered their way out of that when everybody wanted Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, including AllBall, and maybe you. Everybody wanted that. And somehow they worked their way out of that. So James Dolan wasn't just meddling in there. He said, I'm going to leave it to Leon Rose. Leon Rose had to come to him now to relieve him of the coach that was there from his tenure, from the start of his tenure. So the same guy, now that we're at this place, that said, you know what? We're going to trade for Cat. And we're going to get rid of your guy that we started this tenure with, and Julius Randle. And I was like, you're wrong. Well, I got proven wrong. Eastern Conference Finals. So once again, Leon Rose does the right thing. They keep making the right decisions. The only bad decision that they made, and I said it yesterday, was the Quentin Grimes thing, and that's hindsight 2020. That's hindsight 2020. So why do I believe in the next coach? I can only put my support behind Leon Rose, who's given me nothing but that kind of evidence to support him. That's what it is. I ain't worried about Dolan no more. I can't. Leon Rose and Worldwide West, they're the Jersey guys. They were born and bred over here. They got all the connections. I'm riding with them, bro. Forget Dolan. He over there playing his guitar.
I mean, I hear what everybody's saying. We all watch basketball more than half our lives. I don't see how anybody, and this is nothing personal towards Fleet. It's my brother. I'm just saying in general. I don't see how anybody. I watch Kendrick Perkins. I watch fake ass Stephen A. Smith. I almost said Stephen Ass Smith. I don't understand how anybody can defend Tom Thibodeau. I just don't. You had 2 years to get it right. You had an opportunity to get to the finals, and you shit the bed. Simple and plain. Eastern Conference Finals, you shit the bed. So my thing is, next year, this same team with this same coach, do we honestly believe that we would get to the finals playing the way we play, when he doesn't know how to adjust? He doesn't want to play his guys. He doesn't know how to do any of that stuff. He doesn't know anything about offense. He's not going to get a new coaching staff, no new assistant coaches. I just don't understand the uproar in him being fired when there were better coaches fired and they won championships, or they was coaches of the year, or just whatever it was. For me, I watched this man coach for years. He's not a good head coach. Now, is there a plan in place? I'm pretty sure guys with this amount of money, this amount of power, I'm pretty sure there is a plan in place. Or they have some months to put a plan in place, excuse me. But it's nowhere in the world me watching Tom Thibodeau, watching throughout the season, and not saying he's a good head coach. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. He doesn't know what he's doing over there. And I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep repeating it. A guy that played for him, Jeff Teague. He could have supported him.
Regular weed, man. Stop bringing that dumb nigga up. Regular weed, man. Regular fucking weed, man. Stop.
All right. Regular weed or not.
One diamond in the rough. You find one nigga that run his mouth because they got a mic in front of him.
So what?
Come on, man.
So what?
You can't argue
Flea, he played.
Come on,
no, hold on.
And there's MVPs that say they love playing for him. So then what? What are we talking about? What
MVP?
About?
No, come on.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Half the league does not want to play for him. Hold on. But real quick, Flea. The rumor was we were supposed to go after Embiid last summer. And he said, I'm okay with that if you get rid of that coach. Who's to say Giannis didn't say that just now? Who's to say they're supposed to be trading for KD? That's the rumor today. That Phoenix is trying to get Karl Anthony Towns and they're going to get rid of Kevin Durant. Who's to say these guys are saying, I'll go over there, but as long as Tibbs ain't there no more?
Yo, OG came over here after game 6, distraught, said he was done with the Knicks, all of this, yada. That's my energy right now. Now. Until you two niggas let me know what the plan is, I'll be here on Knicks Rehab all fucking summer. I got shit to say about this ball club. Nothing to say about them until I see what we look like come November 1st. Don't ask me about them no more. I will be right here to talk, but I have no real opinions or no facts because I don't know what the fuck they doing. I know what they did do, but I don't know what they doing. So, y'all are very confident. Y'all are niggas that's walking around with multiple championship rings. We got so many championships in the Garden. We've been in the finals every fucking year. Like, we know what winning is. We fucking losers. This organization is a bunch of fucking losers. Like, kidding me? I can't wait.
I just got a text from Leon on the low. He said, not right now. I'll get back to you in a couple of days. So the news will drop in a couple of days, Flea. It's not going to be soon. I don't know why you're so hung up on what is the. So if they reveal the plan for you right now, that's going to change your mind about anything? Because
1,000%.
Real quick,
if we are diehard Knicks fans the way we say we are, and we know OG loves to revert to yesteryear when it boosts his point. When it helps him, he can revert back to the 90s. He can revert back to all his heartache and pain. He can revert back to when it helps him. But when it puts things in perspective, we've always had a culture. Nigga, we was winning 17 games a year. Fuck is you talking about we had culture? You kidding me? Like, what the fuck are we really talking about?
Now, listen.
Like,
go ahead,
but hold on, no, wait. But right now, watch this. All right, those terrible seasons was the Garden still being sold out?
So what? And that's why we're joking.
No.
That's why we're joking. Because we're worried about selling out a 19,000.
Can I finish my point?
Seat arena, and we suck.
Can I finish my point? Those bad seasons, fans were still showing out, still supporting. You know what that is? That's culture. That's culture.
Oh boy.
I don't want to be rude right now.
Listen.
I'm not going to be rude.
Listen.
That is not culture. That's fandom.
All right.
That is not culture. Nigga.
No, that's yeah. Oh boy, you are dead wrong.
What are you talking
when the
about?
hell
y'all
did
are
we
dead
see,
wrong.
No, hold on. When did we ever see Sidewalk Talk New York on 7th Avenue?
While we was winning 20 games?
We just changed the entire landscape of fandom of any
That's
single
a
team
joke.
out there. Any single team out there.
I know.
F New York, F the Pacers, F this, F that. Yo, you can't say that.
What?
F Trey Young is under
when we're
our
winning 20
realm.
games a year, they were selling out, and that's culture to you. Okay.
Knicks tape was short lived.
Listen, you can't listen. Y'all definition of culture and my definition is totally different. I'm fine with that.
No.
No, I'm not running nowhere. I'm not running nowhere.
We're not about to
No, I'm not running nowhere.
Flee. Your point, OG.
Flee,
you jogging.
You just have to Flee. You just have to start being honest. You defeat your guy and his ass got canned and you're upset. That's what it is. That's what it is. I've been consistent.
When you say that lets me know you don't understand.
I've been consistent all season. All right, cool. Then I just don't understand it. But I know what I do. I know what I do understand. Flee, I know what I do understand. I've been consistent all season, last season, and everybody laughed at me. I said, Tom Thibodeau need to get fired.
When them niggas is looking for you next year and we are playing team, don't run. I'm in hiding.
Bro, we was here when we lost that land in the first round.
I don't remember that.
We forget those years, right? When Trey Young was dancing.
I don't remember you. I don't remember you.
Okay.
We weren't there. We were there for Miami when Miami beat us.
Right.
I think
I was around with bum ass RJ Barrett and bum niggas. We forget that. We forget to lose in the first round to Atlanta. Hold on.
Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
No. I'm glad you stopped me because I was about to go off the ledge. My brother.
Tip not a good head coach. I don't know what nobody sees. For me, to not have a plan in place means Tom Thibodeau isn't a good head coach. I'm just asking you with your basketball eyes and your basketball mind, please explain to me what makes Tom Thibodeau a good head coach. What did you see through these last 5 years that you said to yourself, I would love Tom Thibodeau to be my coach for the future?
I mean, there's been a lot of changes. Put me back on the screen, Fabian, so I could talk to him face to face, please.
What about it, no?
So you said what now? You asked me what over the last 5 years, what? Well, I know the previous 5 years, we didn't play any postseason basketball. None. They brought players in and we changed the culture. We start putting down defensive principles. We had a very mediocre team to be a 4 seed, and Julius Randle is our best player. He elevated that young man into an all-star level player. Everything just kept elevating under him. I am not saying that there's no reason we should critique him. You heard what I said? There is no reason that we can't critique him. 100%. We don't have to like his style. It's not innovative enough, all that kind of stuff. But it was effective in the moment. In the moment, it was effective. I promise you, if the last 5 years was here and we weren't a playoff team, what the fuck was you going to say then? You can huff it, you can make your face all of that you want, but you can't answer that question because you don't want to. You don't want to.
Because
have real conversation.
You saying stuff to me that don't make no. You're not answering the question. What did he do that looks that makes you say he's a good head coach?
Players. He helped us win. What are you talking? You deaf? What are we talking about?
Elevated. Who he elevated? Who did he elevate?
I just named the player he elevated, and then elevated him enough for us to trade him for the guy that you wanted. If Julius Randle's not a great player, Minnesota doesn't trade for him. And he was a great player under Tom Thibodeau. Anything else I need to make sense for you?
He elevated. All right, cool. Okay.
Because Julius got better on his own, right?
Right. You don't agree with that?
No,
because it's not to his point.
No, he didn't elevate nobody. No, I don't agree with that.
Stupid. That don't make no sense.
No.
You know more basketball to talk like this.
No.
You know more basketball to talk like this. That's
no, please, I know it.
It's because you want to act.
No, I'm not. Fleet, no, I'm not.
Not be honest.
Fleet, I've been consistent about Tom Thibodeau since I came on social media. What have I always been saying? I don't like him. He can't coach. Go ahead, Fabian. I've been consistent. I'm not trolling. I'm not trying to get my brothers upset on purpose. He's not a good coach. He can't coach.
You just don't make sense.
But here's what I'm saying. When we signed Julius Randle, what did you think of Julius Randle?
It don't make sense. This shit don't make sense.
I think about him now. He's average. He's cool.
Was he average with us? Was he average with us?
He was okay. He was okay.
So he didn't get better.
He's not gonna make me change my mind. He's okay. I never liked him either.
It's not about okay. So Mitchell Robinson, he didn't develop under this guy. Dante DiVincenzo had his best season where? Brunson had his best seasons where? Josh Hart had his best seasons where?
OG
had his best season where?
New coach in another 6 months. You're gonna be complaining about the new nigga that walks through here in the next 6 months. Like, so I'm just waiting for that. That's all I'm waiting for. Everybody can say I'm bugging. Everybody can say what they want to fucking say. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be here in December, January, February, and I want to see you jumping up with pom poms for the nigga that's on the sideline. I need to see your same energy for the new nigga that walks through the door. You better support him the same way I say I support Tibbs. Support this nigga no matter who he is. Support him, OG.
But now we jumping out the window.
No, fuck that. Y'all already jumped out the window. We outside already.
Listen, number one. No. I don't just support you because you signed up. You signed a contract with us. No. Your punk ass better be
anybody but Tibbs.
Dog.
Anybody but
Tibbs. And that's see, going back to this is when we start contradicting ourselves. That's fandom. No, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna judge you based on what I see. That's what I did with Tibbs. Yo, dog, you suck. What are you talking about? You can't make it to the next level. You do little basic things that are wrong. If we start seeing that with the new coach, Johnny Bryan, whoever it is,
no. It's his first year. That's gonna be what this nigga in the middle is gonna say. It's his first year. We gotta give him a chance. It's his first year. Because you said championship, right?
But let's establish that now. It's championship or bust, right? AllBall?
Is it championship or bust next year, OG? Is it?
Fleet told me I'd be repeating myself, so I don't want to repeat myself.
Okay, he said it's championship or bust, y'all. I heard him. He said it's championship or bust. He don't want to. Now he want. I got y'all.
No, because I said it. No, hold on. Because I said it this year, y'all laughed at me, and we was 2 games from going to the championship.
Did we win?
None of y'all believe we were championship contention. I was on here by myself, and because of Tibbs' bonehead coaching, we lost to the Indiana Pacers once again with home court advantage. I'm never going to defend that ever. You can't.
That's fine.
Okay. Are we going off to the next question about who we want to see hired with the New York Knicks? By the way, the rumor is Johnny Bryant, the former assistant coach for the Knicks, who apparently was only here as a placeholder to try to attract Donovan Mitchell. That fell through. So guess what Johnny Bryant went? You guessed it. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Johnny Bryant apparently is supposed to have an interview with the Phoenix Suns. The thing that strikes me with Tibbs firing isn't the choice to do it, but the timing. Could have waited a week at least, but did so prior to Bryant's final meeting with Phoenix. Don't think that's a coincidence at all. Also, now that we're here, I think the Knicks will continue to look at other moves as well. Don't think they're done shaking things up. That was from Sleeper Knicks on Twitter. So if you needed some sort of direction, Flea, Johnny Bryant's hot on these Twitter streets. What do you think about that name? Because I think you mentioned it before, but I don't know how you feel about it just replacing Tibbs, like you said. Stove was on fire at that point.
No, I would like to hear who OG would like to replace Tibbs with. I would like to hear his list and the guys that he want to bring in to help us go to the championship. I don't have
y'all know me. I be dope. I show the role. Listen, y'all can try to jump me. Pause is usually not a problem. I don't mind. No, I wouldn't mind. These are my two candidates. Before Bryant came into play, I always said I would like Sam Cassell. But for me, I would like a young coach that understands the game today, that understands the players, and have some type of connections. So for me, I would like Johnny Bryant or Sam Cassell. I don't want Mike Malone. I don't want the former Grizzlies coach. I don't want none of them dudes. I want a young dude that can connect to today, that the players can connect to, that the players would actually like and will want to play for, that can also attract other players. So for me, it's either Sam Cassell or Bryant. Who I would prefer out of those two, I would give the slight edge to Bryant, but I've been saying it before the season. I would like to see Sam Cassell over here. He has championship rings. He knows game. So I would love a young coach like that with some swag and all that. And can also, guys like that have the connections. They can also have a superstar coaching staff that'll help them out tremendously. So for me, those are my two candidates that I would love to see coaching. But y'all know my dream, which I doubt is going to happen, is either Spo or Steve Kerr. One of those two who I don't think Spo is happy in Miami, and I don't know what's going on with Golden State. Those are my dream, Spo and Kerr. But realistic, Bryant and Sam Cassell.
Bleed. The odds are out. Johnny Bryant at plus 240. He's leading the way with odds on who's going to be the next head coach for the Knicks. Kenny Atkinson's on here on second place. I don't know why. That's kind of crazy. James Borrego, Mike Budenholzer, Patrick Ewing at plus 950, tied with Sam Cassell. Then you got Vogel, Chris Quinn. Jay Wright is at plus 1,400, so they got him listed all the way back, tied with Mark Jackson. Then D'Antoni all the way back there. Becky Hammond makes the list. And Jeff Van Gundy back there also. And Stephen A. Smith at plus 6,000. This got to be a joke. Is this Centel? Nope, that's Central. That's crazy. That's a legit site. Plus 6,000 on Stephen A. Smith.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Patrick Ewing's not going to come through here and get the head coaching job. Stephen A. Smith is not going to come through here and get the head coaching job. But that's what I'm saying right there. That's my shit in a nutshell right there, that list.
Right.
That's it right there. Everything OG said, spot on. I love the guys that he's mentioning. Would love them here. All I'm saying is that this is a win now team, y'all. This is a win now team. This is not the team that we bring in and we got to experiment and figure out. I saw King's speech in the comments talking about what is Dagnall's resume. You're right, but Dagnall has been given some time to grow with that team, and now he's in the NBA Finals. That didn't happen overnight. So I'm saying we got to change our expectations for whatever coach we bring through here. We got to give him a chance to lay down what he wants, to implement his changes and his style. It's going to be his first season. How often do new coaches come in and win in their first year? Steve Kerr, Nick Nurse. Is there another guy out there? Are we going to stumble on that? OG always talking about our luck. Are we going to be on the right side of luck this time and stumble on the guy that could turn us around in year one? That's my concern.
Well, can I just bring this up? And I would love for y'all to respond. I get what you're saying, but I think depending on the roster, if we have a good roster, which I'm pretty sure we would. Think about this though. Boston, Tatum is done for the season. You know, we see what Cleveland is in the playoffs. They're not a threat, which Fabian always said. So the team that, you know, you have to be afraid of is who? Indiana and maybe Philly if they're fully healthy with Embiid and having that third pick. So by the East, and then you still have Orlando and Detroit, who are young up-and-coming teams. I still don't see them beating the echelons, the Knicks, and then now you got to give Indiana props because they are in the finals. But Flea, how do you feel? Then Fabian can respond as well. Tatum being out changes the whole dynamic of the East. Giannis not wanting to be in Milwaukee. So if Giannis isn't in Milwaukee, Tatum isn't in Boston, we should automatically be the top 2-3 seed. Shouldn't that make a difference as well as far as trying to get back here and hopefully to the finals?
I don't expect us to all of a sudden. I'm reserved. I'm holding my reservations on the roster moves and how everything comes together. I feel you. No Tatum. Giannis is questionable. We have zero faith in Philly. They got to prove it first, like you said. And same thing with Cleveland. When we get in the postseason, Cleveland is different. But other teams are getting better, right? Orlando is getting better. Detroit will be there again next season. And so, you know, I don't, you know, we always keep our finger on the pulse with Miami. Miami always surprises people and finds a way to be relevant again. So, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for us to swoop in and stay relevant, which is why we wanted to win this year. This was a perfect opportunity. I just don't think we could don't play with it, man. Don't overreact. We need for me, I felt like another year with this core. Maybe not Tibbs, but another year with this core and see what we do. We didn't have Mitchell Robinson for 70% of the season. How different do we look if Mitch is playing the 5 and Cat is at the 4 for most of the season? What do we look like then? Are we a better team? Do we win more games? So, I'm not guaranteeing. Niggas still got to win games, and I think we take them for granted because we won 50 games that now all of a sudden we penciled in.
But Fabian, let me ask you this. Flea, I agree, great point. But Fabian, let me ask you this. Coming into the season, coming into the playoffs, everybody said the Boston by far the biggest threat. Everybody, we have to get past Boston. Then Cleveland with the season that they had. We got past Boston. Indiana took care of Cleveland because people said nobody would beat Cleveland. And the only team in our way was Indiana. We had home court advantage, and he dropped the ball. Can we at least admit that he dropped the ball?
Who dropped the ball?
I'm not
Tibbs?
going back and forth no more about Tibbs.
Yeah.
I'm not going back and forth about
but we can't. But again, to Flea's point, yes, I give 50% of the blame to Tibbs and all that. Yes. But you motherfuckers agreed to get rid of Julius Randle also. You didn't say you better trade me if you're going to trade Julius Randle. You better not change up this team with Dante DiVincenzo. You shocked him too. They changed up the whole lineup to bring in Cat, and they all had to have okayed it. I don't care what they say. So the thing is, we had this squad here, and your question originally was about next season since Tatum is down. Should it be our chance to take over? And yes, that's the same thing that happened this season. If Philly does kick it up a notch, it's still their first year with whatever team. You have to take advantage of that. The same way we had our first season with Cat, you better take advantage of a second season with Cat, which was what Flea has been saying and stressing all year long. Yes, it will be a new coach, but at least it will be with someone we hope will be with someone in mind that has a scheme to run things with Cat engineering the offense way more often, maybe adding players, defensive players to help out Jalen Brunson and all that. But just to harp on your point, to stress that point, you cannot drop the ball as an organization, which is why I agree with the move to drop Thibodeau. But you also brought in Cat. The window is closing. That's how they look at this thing. They want that championship. So you can't go into next year. I don't care who the coach is, Flea. You're right. It's all pressure on him. That's why I'm telling you. I don't know why you think I'm cheerleading this guy. I'm watching your every move. You're supposed to lead us to the next level. That's who they said brought you in for this because of that opportunity that they know is available. Yeah, Orlando is really the sneaky ones that can make a decision also, along with Philly. And Cleveland is 1 or 2 moves away also because they were injured as well this year. So, yeah, they were soft last year, and we could have beaten them. But Cleveland, Indiana's going to have to kick it up if they want to win, back-to-back years if they win this year or go back to the championship. That's how this thing works. But we have to be prepared for all that. And I don't know who we're going to add in terms of players and all and everything, but there's no way that they don't have that in mind, AllBall. You have to stress, Boston is about to be in shambles. They've been talking about this for 2 years, that the ownership is coming in and they're going to break it up because that's way too much money for 4 guys. They've been talking about this for years. So that means Drew Holiday might be available. There's some guys that might be available that we want for a championship. There's no way we can let this shit go, AllBall.
I mean,
Yo, King Speech, stay off that chat, man.
Yeah, I just feel for me, right move. Should have been fired last season if you ask me. Just the right move. Just his choices, just the way he coaches, it's just not good. And for me, like I said, that Eastern Conference Finals, we wet the bed. And I've been saying it all season. They ain't gonna get rid of Brunson the Cat. Of course they're gonna blame the coach. That's what happens. We know that. So to avoid that, win the fucking series. Win the series. And he wet the bed. Simple and plain. So whoever else comes in, listen, same thing. Same thing. If the players is there, the team is intact, and you have that call, bro, get us to the promised land. Simple. Now, what happens when you get there? I said it. They said, what does Tibbs need to do to stay? Get to the finals. Tibbs gets to the finals, win or lose, he's still a Knicks head coach. Wet the bed. So whoever else comes in there, whatever plan is in place, I think now, I don't know how that works as far as being general managers, and because I'm not a general manager. But now, my opinion, Leon Rose and them, they ass might be on the hot seat as well. Because now it's like, yo, bro, y'all making these moves, get it done. So I feel everybody, whoever they bring in, the GMs, everybody right now got to be on high alert. Get the job done. Because the dominoes are falling. No Tatum. Giannis is unhappy. Embiid is coming off an injury. Philly, like you said, they may just have a whole new team. So who's in our way now? Indiana, Cleveland, Detroit, Orlando? No, there's no excuse. If we have this team and we add 1 or 2 more pieces that are very good, there should be no excuse for whatever coach. So, Flea, I agree with you on that. Whoever the coach is, get the fucking job done. You're going to get the same scrutiny and the same curse out that Tibbs got. Get the fucking job done. So that's just my opinion on that.
Oh, King Speech, not our chat, the one you mentioned. Flea, for me, if you're going to bring in Johnny Bryant, that's still a first-year guy. And you know the guy I've been mentioning. Yes, he left us high and dry. But that Clippers team was the #1 defense in the league. Yes, they had Zubac, but we got Mitch. Even if you don't get Jeff Van Gundy, the other thing that I'm excited about is what Jeff Teague did say. Forget about what these players are saying. One thing that he said to me that was crazy, and they all chimed in, he likes to do everything himself. He's a micromanager. And then that's why maybe your assistant coaches look like that. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's Jeff Van Gundy, Sam Cassell, whoever you want, I hope to see competent guys on the sideline along with Johnny Bryant or whoever you pick. It better not be another Tom Thibodeau show where you just bring in this guy and it's him by himself and we don't like your assistant coaches. Everybody, JJ Redick is a first-year coach. Who's over there? I know they try to have Rondo. I think Cassell is there.
No, they have Terry Stotts. They have
the former
Terry Stotts. Excuse me. They have Nick McMillan and they have Scott Brooks over there sitting next to JJ Redick.
Right, but you have Scott Brooks. I'm sorry. You're saying enough with Van Gundy. That's fine. You can say enough with Van Gundy. Meanwhile, he's sitting next to Ty Lue. He's a competent dude.
Like,
come on, man. Like
King Speech want me to calm down, but he's mentioning Ron Artest as our next head coach.
No, he's not. He said Ron Artest is in the chat. That's his brother, King Speech. That's Ron Artest's brother. Shout out to Daniel.
Daniel. Big shout out to DA, man.
Nah, he just
But this is what I'm saying, man.
No, he's not. No, he's not saying that. King Speech is trying to make viable decisions out here. But yes, Reddick did not prove to me that he was some amateur. I don't know. We gotta let some shit go. And even if that's the case, he ain't got no amateur sitting next to him on the sideline. That's all. That's really what I'm stressing. I don't want to see that again. That was unprofessional, Flea. Do you agree with that?
What was unprofessional?
To have Rick Brunson, Othello Harrington, Mo Cheeks, these guys, none of them have ever been coveted for a head coaching position. All these other dudes, Nate McMillan have coached. Scott Brooks has coached. Cassell was supposed to be there. Definitely Rajon Rondo, they were talking about going there.
Hey, bro, I was dead serious. I'm not gonna go back and forth with y'all no more about he's gone. My focus
no. I'm saying the next coach. I don't want to see him with that kind of parade. I want to see him with a coaching staff.
But here's my thing. We're looking to bring another coach in here who's a little more lenient. I don't know why they use the word lenient, but lenient. I don't know why they use that word, but lenient is now described in the rest of that article or that little clip as a guy who believes in his bench. I don't know if lenient and I don't know if that doesn't make sense to me. But if you want a guy that is what OG is saying, more of a player's coach, more of a guy that cares and things like that. The players' coaches like a Udoka, like a Joe Mazzulla, like a Ty Lue, like a Jason Kidd, like those guys hold you accountable. They hold you accountable. So when you challenge Brunson to be better defensively, it's not going to go over well. If you're going to challenge Cat to be better defensively, is that going to go over well? Like, yeah, we got to bring a new voice in, but there's going to be things that everybody's been watching. Everybody's been watching from afar, and the first dude that gets the opportunity to be up close on that, if he's any semblance of a great coach, he's going to be like, yo, we got to do this. We got to touch this here. This needs improvement, that, and that. And the guys are the ones that are going to have to step up. The players are going to have to be the ones that step up. At the end of the day, it ain't going to be about coaching. OG is naming all them players and shit like that, and all them teams. Guess what? All them teams are good coaches. You name Boston, Joe Mazzulla is going to have them relevant. You name Detroit, Bickerstaff's going to have them relevant. Atkinson is going to be fine. Jamal Mosley is going to be fine. He named all these teams, but all of them have good coaching. So how far does coaching go? You know what I mean? It can't just be for us and not the other teams because they got good coaches. We don't.
And again, you don't want to hear this, Flea, but last year's team, regardless if you think it's better or not, forget the depth on the players. Fred Katz was talking about like the difference between this season, how they spoke to Cat, how Cat didn't really understand. It wasn't getting through to him. Very similar to what we saw with Barkley. We talked about this the other day where Barkley asked him, why are you committing stupid fouls? And he kind of like was an airhead about it. And all his teammates were just like, yo, he's kind of not getting it. We all reacted the same way. We can't believe what he said. As opposed to the year before, he said Dante DiVincenzo will go curse iHeart out and be like, yo, you can't do that. And iHeart would be like, he would take it and he would say, well, what do you need me to do? So the communication with that team was different. So to your point, it ain't just all coaching, right? It ain't just the coach. Who are the players? This lenient talk, I don't like that word. You are 100% correct at all. It's all about accountability because with Tom Thibodeau, I felt like he wasn't being held accountable. The way we argued about Jalen Brunson, whether he hogged the ball or not, his teammates did not hold him accountable. For me, that's basically what we were all arguing about. You hogging the ball, who's holding you accountable for that? Whether it's checking you, screaming, commanding the ball, or Thibodeau telling you, bro, stop fucking hogging the ball. Where's the accountability going to be at going forward? I don't want to hear about lenient because it doesn't sound like you trying to hold the star player accountable, and we don't want no fucking diva out here. That's not how we became fans of Jalen Brunson. Fuck that. We're trying to be champions. Kobe Bryant was just never looked at as a diva. That's the one thing that he has over all these motherfuckers. He ain't no diva. To me, Carmelo wasn't no diva. These guys just, I think you could talk to them a certain way, and the way they talk back, we don't want that. And I don't think Brunson comes off that way. I just think he's a killer, and he respects other people coming to him like an adult. I don't like that word lenient, Flea. I 1000% agree with that. That's a bad sign.
And let me ask you a question. Rick Brunson is hired as the head coach. How do we feel about that?
Oh my God.
Hold on,
I'm not watching.
no,
Oh my God.
If Rick Brunson is hired as the head coach, how do we feel about that?
I'm officially done as a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well, because he's not a. You could tell he's not a good head coach. Like, I'm being honest.
How can you tell he's not a? How can you tell he's not a good head coach, but Sam Cassell is?
Well, for me, Sam Cassell been on the bench as far as assistant coach for longer. He was a better basketball player. I think he's a better basketball mind. He's a champion. That's just my opinion. The way Tom Thibodeau and Rick Brunson, the way they constructed and ran the team with adjustments, just the way they were, you couldn't tell me Rick Brunson should be a head coach. I don't think he should be assistant head coach. That's just my honest opinion.
I would go take a look at his resume before we start saying Rick Brunson ain't this, ain't that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not an advocate of Rick Brunson, but for us to say this guy and that guy is a viable options, but Rick was an NBA point guard, was a part of good teams, been around the NBA a long time, has been a head coach in the past. Why did Sam Cassell qualify more than him? Because of his name? And that's what I'm saying. I don't want us to get caught up.
But Flea, you have a problem with anybody we name, bro. Like it could be Phil Jackson in his time, and you don't have a problem with it.
No, but that's not his question. That's not his question.
I'm not saying that's his question.
But it's a perfectly great question. How the hell do you know Sam Cassell's better than Rick Brunson, bro? Because that really is my question. I don't know.
Every candidate we come up with, Flea doesn't agree with anything. It doesn't matter who we say.
Bro,
I know that's not the question. I don't care. I'm not saying that's the question.
No, he's asking, how do you know that? Why do you want Sam Cassell over Rick Brunson? How do you know that? What has Sam Cassell proven to you on any sideline? I don't know that. He's probably been to more job interviews. That's the only thing I got over Rick Brunson. I don't know how well of a coach Rick Brunson is, but nobody has vouched for him. I haven't read anything about Rick Brunson. That's the only thing I can say. And what I've seen from us the last couple of years, if you were the forced as a de facto head coach, because Tibbs couldn't do it, I didn't see anything to help me out to want you to be my head coach either. And I don't like the fact that that's your son. Bad enough we laugh at Bronny and LeBron. No way possible I want you as the head coach. None of that shit flies with me. So if you ask me to be a head coach of the team, why if they would have announced that Rick Brunson was our head coach, yeah, I'm not watching the Knicks. I would boycott that shit.
Leon Rose and Rick Brunson have a different type of relationship. Brunson is the head guy here. Is our guy. Why wouldn't his name come up? Like, why wouldn't his name come up? Like, what are we talking about? If we fired Tibbs at the same time Denver fired Mike Malone, who you think was going to step up and coach us for the rest of the season?
Absolutely. So now you're right about you're right, but that proves AllBall's point. Then why hasn't your name come up if this guy got fired? Nobody has mentioned Rick Brunson, and he was on the sideline. That was your assistant. Nobody has mentioned you, or even thought of you, or even thought about thinking about you. Hell no.
Very true.
Right? So imagine, I got to flip it to you then, Flea. How would you feel if they announced that Rick Brunson is the next head coach for the New York Knicks?
I would be pissed. Because that would tell me that they're not serious about trying to duplicate what we did last season in terms of winning. Right? We could get rid of the head coach. That's what we've done. But I think all three of us want the Knicks to be exactly in the same spot next season. I think that goes across the board, everybody in the chat. But we forget about how we got there and the process and what the steps that it takes to get there. This is not fucking fantasy. I wish I could tell all of y'all, this is not some fantasy shit. So certain shit got to happen before we back again in Eastern Conference Finals playing against Team X, whoever that is. So much shit got to happen.
But that's where I'm lost at, Fleet. And just honest, now we got to have some honest talk. What makes you think we don't know that? Like, just because we agree with the Tibbs.
I think y'all taking it for granted. Is my thing. I think we've got to a place where the Knicks ain't really proving us shit. We still ain't won, right? But for some reason, this roster or whatever we're gonna do is gonna make y'all confident to think we'll be back here. Like, I don't think it works like that. And that's really my point about the whole coaching thing. Y'all getting hung up on me sounding like I'm defending Tibbs. I'm defending the team and what we could potentially look like if we don't take this thing serious and try to like continue what we're doing. And if we don't, it could spiral out and we be up here arguing about us winning 30 games after coming off 50-win season. It could easily happen.
So then that's the where we're breaking apart, where the miscommunication is happening at. Ain't no arguing about how we got here. Can't argue with that. As much as AllBall wants to say about Tom Thibodeau, say whatever you want. We can't argue about getting to this point of contention. This is championship contention, back-to-back years, and we could blame injuries last year. This season, it should not be up. It shouldn't be that much on Thibodeau's plate of blame to get us to championship contention. No, it just shouldn't. You know your teammates. You know Jalen Brunson by now. 3-4 seasons already you've been coaching them. You know him your whole life. That's really my point. To go from playoff contention to championship contention, that next level, that's what we have. That's our issue with Tibbs. Everybody has to agree with that. Not to build you to this point, because honestly, this is what we got to get out the way. For me personally, that's why I don't like when y'all was talking that Donovan Mitchell shit, this and that. You want to trade Mitchell Robinson for Donovan Mitchell? What the hell is wrong with y'all? No, he's a staple for us. Julius Randle has been a staple for us. When you trade him, that's going to hurt now because he turned his whole thing around. Yo, they helped build this thing to this point. So I can root for that. I'm not just going to bring somebody in here. I could just root for you, Flea, which is my original point with the new head coach. I'm not just rooting for you. You on the hot seat. I'm judging you from the moment we sign you. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. We signed this kid. This guy's he's like damn near my height. Let me see this. And he showed improved. The next coach got to show improved. Tom Thibodeau showed improved to a certain point. So Rick Brunson cannot be the head coach, Flea. And nobody's.
I don't want it. I don't want it. It's just that's some Knicks shit. It will piss me off if he's walking into the prep. I'm cool.
There has never been. That's some Lakers shit. That's some Lakers shit. Hiring somebody who's somebody's father to be the coach. That's some. At this point, that ain't what we got. Nepotism, but it ain't that bad. God damn.
Hey man, I'm concerned about us going to the next level, man. Y'all could confuse it. Tibbs is my man. Whatever. I want us to have a coach that's going to take us to the next level. If he can't do it, then I hope we bring somebody in that can do it. But if we revert back, if we flame out in the first round,
I can't believe it.
If we are a playing team next year, I need to understand why, right? I hope we're able to have that conversation without all the excuses, without all of the back and forth, without the ducking, without the semantic word games. No, let's step up and answer those questions if and when they happen. Don't run from it. Don't run from it. You niggas want a new voice? He's on the way.
AllBall ran and got some clear Wi-Fi. Amazing. Flea, I'm sick of this shit. You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do. Keep your eyes on the prize, baby Bubba. Playoff basketball's here and it's heating up. We are in.
And the Knicks ain't here.
The championship round. And PrizePicks is the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win, blah, blah, blah. You don't even need to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Who's the best coach for the Knicks in the last 20 years? Yeah, I didn't think you could fucking answer that. Get me the fuck out of here. Get me out of here. I'm sick of the chat. I'm sick of you niggas. Get me the fuck out of here.
You had so many people in the chat rooting for you and everything, man.
Get me out of here.
You ignored.
I love the chat. I love everybody. You know that.
You ignored them. You ignored them like a sucker. You ignored all the guys saying, Flea, man, keep going. Keep talking, Flea. Talk your talk. You
I love
ignored all them
everybody,
guys.
man.
All because you want to pay attention to this. Flea is Tibbs' lawyer.
Hey, man, I'll lean into that. I'll lean into that just for the fun. Who's the best coach we had in the last 20 years?
Tomas Thibodeau.
Who knows? We don't know. Yeah, I knew somebody would jump in the chat and say, Woody, the fuck out of here, James Whitfield. And we love you, brother. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, hold on. James Whitfield said, are we going to be able to call up? Let's get to it. Super chats. James Whitfield, thank you. You told James Whitfield to get the fuck out of here, but he's been here paying for at least a month. Flea, what the hell is wrong with you?
That's all I got.
Thank you for being a member. He said, how did Stephen A get on that list? I don't know. Are you going to put some money on it? Isaiah Jackson, thank you for your $4.99. Hey, what's up with you and the family, man? Wait a sec. What if Mikhail agreed to pay to a pay cut if Tibbs got fired? Think about it.
It's right up Fabian's alley. It's right up Fabian's alley.
I don't want Mikal Bridges if he offered to play for free. Get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah. King Speech, thank you for your $2. Why y'all niggas fighting? This is a happy day. You thought Flea was coming on here without the gloves on? I knew it. See, you didn't see the Discord. You didn't see the fucking group chat. He was on fire. I'm on the train, like my nerves going, like I'm about to get into a fight with somebody because I know this nigga Flea's about to go crazy. And that's why I put the rock music on. It was over.
That was nasty. That was disgusting.
What? The rock?
The rock music was terrible. Sorry. This got me hype. OG is trying to hold his smile in, right? Oh, come on. He trying to look like that right there. He trying to hold
How
his
did
smile
you see
in.
his smile?
I got
all
on.
That fuzziness. Isaiah Jackson.
I got on. He trying to hold his smile. That it crept out, and that shit lit me up, boy.
Isaiah Jackson, thank you for your $1.99. $99. Leon made us winners, not Tibbs. Ooh. Shots. Everybody. Isaiah Jackson, $4.99. Yo, Flea, get out of here with your fucking professionalism. Isaiah Jackson, thank you for your $4.99. I think we're looking at this wrong. The Knicks are now a heavy offensive team. Defense second. We need an offensive coach. All right. Ronnie Robbins, thank you for your $1.99. Give me Ewing. He was an assistant college coach. Ronnie Robbins.
Why would Patrick Ewing? Wait. Assistant head coach for many years, coached well in college. Why doesn't he qualify to be a good head coach? Why?
Because Charles Oakley is still cussing his ass. Nah, Charles Oakley is still cussing his ass out.
No. Let's get serious. Because
I am serious.
I'm understanding.
Do you respect Patrick Ewing?
How y'all rate and judge coaching now? I'm getting a master class. Help me understand.
I'm gonna go to my brother's question. That is the question. Hold on, don't interrupt me, because that is the ace, the full house. Would you want to play under Patrick Ewing as your head coach?
Fabian, your mama told you don't ever answer a question with a question. So answer my question. I got you, but answer my question. What, with a resume like his, what qualifies Sam Cassell over Patrick Ewing?
Number one, don't you ever
not
tell me
you,
what my mama told
not
me.
you, the brother who is
my mom. You don't know what my mama told me.
I'm not feeding into this.
Why? We need a new head coach. We're trying to figure out what our new head coach is going to be.
I'm not feeding into this, Flea. I'm just not.
So. I didn't think so.
I know.
I didn't think so. Now I'm gonna shut it down. I didn't think so.
But to me, again, the Sam Cassell thing. I don't know if he's going to be a good head coach either. I don't know how people got Johnny Bryant over Sam Cassell. And that has been my question from 8 months ago, Flea. You asking questions that I've been asking. How do y'all know these coaches are going to be good? Cassell has been under these good coaches, though. At least we saw the pattern with Kenny Atkinson, Steve Kerr under these guys too. Mike Denault was under Billy Donovan, who I think is highly underrated, and he was coaching at Florida after Billy Donovan. The guy in Darko in Toronto was under the Memphis dude. So there's a pattern with, at least if they're assistant coaches in the NBA in the modern day. When was the last time Patrick Ewing was an assistant coach in the modern game? I know he's an assistant 10 years ago, plus, maybe. But that's my problem with that. If to answer the question, Flea, long-winded, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. GM's Land Empire Tool. Thank you for your $9.99. Okay, what's the solution? Who going to replace back-to-back 50 wins? The Knicks jersey is the heaviest jersey to wear. What coach can handle the city, the media, and crazy fans like AllBall? I didn't know he's going to handle it like that. That was funny.
It's a great question. It's a great question. Great question. It's a great fucking question. All the serious questions we ain't answered. Okay.
Like I said, I already answered it. If you're gonna bring in Johnny Bryant, I want to see Jeff Van Gundy and a bunch of assistant coaches who were former assistant coaches, at the very least in this era. And your man disappeared.
We're gonna roll the red carpet out for Jeff Van Gundy. Let's go.
I would. Number 1 defense in the league. James Whitfield, thank you for your $2. Hey Tibbs, how do you get fired on your day off? Come on, what? Smokey? No, that was a Craig. Craig. Oh, there you go. Wait, nah. Yo, King Speech. All right. You gonna do your podcast? Do your podcast, please. Me too. I'm down with Jeff Van Gundy. Is there anything else? Odds on the code. We saw the odds. I'm gonna stay on. I was gonna tell these guys that Hot Hand Theory was gonna watch their video while I was on live. Hey, by the way, let's not forget Anthony Towns. If there's anything that he did, he got Tibbs fired twice.
Sure did. Good job. Good job, Carl. Good job, Carl.
Shout out Cat.
Yo. Was that your master plan, old boy?
Now we ship Cat somewhere, get a big dog in, and listen, kill 2 birds in 1 stone. Sometimes you gotta, gotta orchestrate this thing like the Godfather,
Real quick, fellas. I don't know if you got a couple minutes, old boy.
I got about 2 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell y'all behind. Something happened that was kind of important for me that I thought was lost, so that's why I had to jump off real quick. But go ahead. What's good?
Oh no, it was they're talking about this Kevin Durant New York thing is real, and that they want the Phoenix Suns are going after a center, and they're highly coveting Karl Anthony Towns, and that would mean that they've traded Kevin Durant to us. They've lowered their asking price. Houston has been in talks with them for their players. Obviously, they have some sort of relationship. He's been linked to Houston. Kevin Durant has been linked to Houston for like over a year now. But now it's looking like the Knicks are in play because Phoenix wants Karl Anthony Towns. What do you feel about Kevin Durant coming to the Knicks, all ball, for Karl Anthony Towns?
I don't know. To be honest, I want a player that wants to be here. I'm not sure Kevin Durant wants to play here. Like I said, that skill set, that type of player, that's who you want. But we have to be honest. Kevin Durant went to Phoenix after Phoenix got to a finals and it just went all in shambles. So for me, I don't know if that helps us. Offensively, it helps us, but he's older. Now we was able to keep Cat with Kevin Durant, then it makes sense. But I don't know. I don't know. All these rumors, it's going to be a lot going on. Can we use a player like that magnitude with that offensive power? Hell yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if Kevin Durant wants to play here. Like, to me, that's what I'm more concerned about. I want guys that want to be a Knick. and want to bring a championship to the town. So I don't know about that. I would have to really think about that hard. But on the surface, anybody would be like, hell yeah. But I don't know, because how better is KD going to be defensively? So I don't know. I don't know.
Fleet, what do you think about such speculation?
Just noise. It's that time of year. Stuff to talk about. We got an underwhelming NBA Finals, so a lot of stuff is going to be talked about for the next 2 weeks. I mean, the finals are going to be going on, but I promise you, the news around the league is going to supersede the NBA Finals. You can't, for me, you don't just say a fast no to Kevin Durant. Like, it's not a fast no. It's definitely something to consider, but I don't quickly pull the trigger on him, knowing his injury history, knowing his age now. This feels much like things that we used to do in the past with getting aging superstars to, try to, squeeze the last juice out of a window that we have. So I don't think Kevin Durant is the guy that's going to help us be able to squeeze the juice out of this team right here. The coaching change necessary, right, to take us to the next level. But then now you make the coaching change. They always say you make that coaching change. Now it's on the players, right? Now it's on the players. If the same team is here and you make that coaching change, now you guys got to show up. So I've said it to y'all before, and I'm not gonna say all animated, but at the end of the day, whether we get a Kevin Durant, whether we get a Giannis, we made a change that the guy that was leading us, and now we're gonna bring in somebody new. So the players got to be held really, really accountable this year on the basketball court, as well as the coach. But the guys that we have, they got to show up. And if Kevin Durant is part of that, cool. But I don't think he's the answer.
Yeah, not at all. This will be the third, fourth, fifth. How many teams you gonna be a part of, bro? Like, Steph Curry, and I know people were saying they thought Steph played better than LeBron last year, but LeBron was amazing. Like, AD went down, and they were like a top 5 defense without AD. We didn't see that with Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. These are the aging guys.
Can I ask y'all a question before I run?
Yeah.
What if we could get rid of Mitchell Robinson and send back Mikal Bridges for KD? Would you do that?
No. Hell
Okay.
no. No. I just think it's too much pressure on Kevin Durant to try to perform defensively. I don't see how offensively you probably will get better, but again, that's more one-on-one shit. And I don't, maybe you'll draw up something offensively, but you had Devin Booker, Kevin Durant over there. He's been with a bunch of, Kevin Durant and Kyrie flamed out against Boston. How much more help do you need, bro? Or, it's just you're older now. You can't $45-50 million you're making, and Cat's making $50 million. Nah, that's too much for 3 guys. You're trying to make another super team, and you're not in your super prime. You're not, and you don't look like it. You didn't even make the playoffs last year. They flamed out. It was bad, awful. And I could see Mikal Bridges and some picks for Devin Booker or something like that. Like, he can help, but I don't. Durant just passed his prime, bro. And it's it's easy to shit on him now too. By the way, everybody does that. He's another polarizing dude. So I'm gonna try to take it easy, but I ain't feeling that, man. I just ride out in the sunset, bro. Just ride out. You wanted to go get out of Brooklyn. You couldn't handle it in New York, bro. You couldn't hold down the team in Brooklyn. You ran again. You did run. Why didn't you stay in Brooklyn? Trade Kyrie if you didn't want to be there. Like, at what point are you going to hold yourself accountable? He's always has an excuse. He was in Oklahoma City with Russell. You didn't hold it down with him. Russell shouldn't have been a point guard. You were throwing shots at him without even knowing it. I'm the only guy that could put the ball on the floor and could shoot. Nobody else could do that on the team. and now they have a whole bunch of those, and you want to go back. You were lauding OKC after that because they drafted and they got the guys that play the style that you want, that's better suited for this era. But that's a part of being a mercenary. Like, you turn yourself from a legend, MVP candidate, to a mercenary, and I don't want to be a part of his mercenary path, please.
Man, it's all in the name of hoop. You let him tell it. All in the name of hoop. And it's so like it's like, you spitting in our face and telling us it's raining.
Right.
You
right.
at one point you were a guy for real, baby. It's all in the name of hoop.
That's just because that's what it is. Like, stop these all them little punchlines. They don't work with everybody. And you jump on Twitter and think that's what you use your platform for. You try to fool us into, like, come on, man, you one of the greatest players we've ever seen in our lives.
For sure.
That's really what we're mad about.
It's the grandstanding, right? The grandstanding that you're doing on the internet, the grandstanding that you do when we do get a glimpse of who you are, whether that's in post-game interviews, all of that kind of stuff. Like, the grandstanding that you do now, because you are champion, nobody ever take that from you. But after that, we expected some more winning to come from you. We expected you to affect more teams and positive outcomes for those teams. And every team you've been on since then, here's the thing. And I didn't even think about this. I just put this together right now, real time.
Right.
They talk about how Kevin Durant's one of the only guys to come after tearing his Achilles, to come back and play better basketball than he did prior to tearing his Achilles. And we're going off of numbers, right? His scoring output is higher than it was prior to the Achilles tear. But guess what? After that, you ain't won a goddamn thing. As great as you've been, you have not affected no team and helped elevate them to championship level. Not keep butts in the seats, not be a playoff team. No, championship level team. You didn't elevate no team to that. 7-game series with the Nets, your Bigfoot, maybe that changes, right? But then y'all follow that up by getting swept. Boston swept y'all.
Yeah.
Out of here. We've watched you get swept by Anthony Edwards again, or at least be a part of the team that got swept. So
I forgot about that.
Bro, like, he's not done a lot of winning after this Achilles tear. He's played well, but he hasn't affected a lot of winning. And so for me, that says a lot on who he is. I don't know. I can't hitch my wagon to him and feel confident that he's going to help lead us to a championship.
I think that's the point ultimately, because even Steph Curry, we bring Jimmy Butler there, and all of a sudden his scoring prowess, it's still like that supernova, that little secret weapon, little Marvel universe, that whatever your power is from a comic book. That's how I look at basketball. When you're ill like that, LeBron is just the physique and he still can touch that. That's what it is about LeBron. That we're like, yo, what the hell? You're 40. KD scoring isn't quite the Marvel universe level that we used to. That goes, oh shit, about to drop 30 in a row. We gotta like call a timeout. We gotta foul him. We gotta hurt him. It's not there anymore. It's not there anymore, man. And that's really the bottom line. Before we even like try to shit on you and fuck all that, KD, you're just not who you was before, man.
That's it.
Just straight up.
That's it.
I thought I kind of killed that, man.
You smoked that. You smoked that, man. I think we smoked this. We killed this.
We got you to calm down. You say goofy. That was great.
Man, I love y'all, bro. I love y'all.
They say, why you mad? I say, listen, I'll give a fuck if he curse me out, but let me just calm him down. He's gonna lose himself. I know when you're going too far, because you're out. Let's get hone the anger and make your point. Now we could move and jab. Now we got
some fun.
Yeah. Get him, Rock.
Everybody in the comments, man, we love y'all, man. This is all real time. This is all organic. Y'all curse me out. Y'all love me. Y'all hate me. I love y'all right back. OG, if you're still there, we love you, OG. If you're still in the back.
He's not. I was gonna throw the link in the chat real quick. I know what you gonna say, Flea. That's that shit.
I love you niggas, but I don't want to talk to you.
Jesus Christ. It's dark outside when Flea MX come out.
I love y'all, man. Yeah, Monkey Ranch, that's my dog, man. I love everybody.
It's
man.
dark and hell is hot. Flea MX in the spot.
Who was that in the chat? Some nigga named Justin in the chat. Justin was on me tonight. I ain't
What
say
he say?
nothing. You look like a new name.
Oh man, here we
He
go.
running for smoke, man.
What
We
you
got
want?
y'all. Hey, listen.
What you want? What you
King
want?
speech in the building. What's going on, man?
What you want,
Yeah,
fool?
I'm setting up for my now. So if we gonna chat a little bit, I could push my show back, but I'm gonna talk about this shit, bro. I've been like, I know y'all busy brothers, man, but I've been on this stuff from the jump. I came on board with y'all right before the season. You know why? Because the offense was gonna be our detriment. Tibbs' rotation was gonna be our detriment. And he's holding us back. What I've been saying, look, you look at the coaches. I done put all the coaches I rate. You saw me in the chat with the emojis, rating all our coaches all the way back to Jeff Van Gundy. Just because a 6 is in a room full of 2s, don't make that 6 Miss America. That's what, like, Tibbs is a 6, bro. Like he got us here, but bro, we need a Miss America. Now she might not be out there, but we need somebody more innovative. We run this 2-man game, and it ain't even a 2-man game. It was Brunson, and you saw what they did. They pushed Brunson all the way to left. Bro, Tyler Burton's picking his pocket. We cannot do this. We gotta make the next step here, bros. We gotta take the next step. I salute Tibbs, bro. Tibbs, it's Knicks in '96. That's gonna be my campaign all year. Knicks in 26. Knicks in 26. And when we go to the parade next year, Tibbs, you invited to the barbecue. We want you on a parade floor because you got us here. Same way Mark Jackson should have been at the Warriors parade with Curry and them. Tibbs will be there. But we need a bro to take us to the next level. And that's what I've been on, man. Bro, okay, look, it's been 3 years in a row. We lost with home field advantage. Home court advantage, we lost 3 years in a row to a team that I thought we were better than. Miami, last year, the Pacers, he got a stay of execution because of the injuries. But it didn't happen too. That's strike 3, though. That's strike 3. I got to listen to Indiana fans say we were a better team. Bro, we smoked Indiana all season long. The problem was Indiana came and Rick Carlisle took his food, bro. Rick Carlisle's a good coach. He's a great coach. If he wins, he's in the Hall of Fame. That's 2 chips.
Yeah.
But
against this team,
already almost there. But Rick Carlisle is not Pat Riley. Rick Carlisle is not Phil Jackson. He's not Larry Brown. He is not that guy to be taking your food. You see what I'm saying? You think Rick Carlisle is that great, Fabe?
Yes. Yes. You're bugging.
I think he's very good. I think he's very good, and I think Tibbs is a level below him in the very good category. I gotta
go feed my family. But I need to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I love us breaking down the game and all of that. And I think that it is quite easier to break down and critique a player, right? But then when you get into the weeds of critiquing a coach, I think it takes a lot more nuance on whether he wins or he loses to let you know if a good coach is a good coach or not. Now, again, this is not some defense for Tibbs. I'm just saying any coach, we got to be able to look at it from an objective standpoint, because the point I just made, over the last 2 years, Tibbs has won more playoff games than Kerr, than Spo, than some of y'all favorite coaches. So
I get that, but I think we got a better team than those guys. I think we got a better roster.
You're delusional if you think that. We got a better team?
Bro,
yeah. Yes.
Golden State didn't even make the playoffs a couple of these years, bro.
I understand that. And I still think right now, fully healthy in a 7-game series, Golden State would beat us. And I don't have shit. Leave the coaches at the crib.
And then that's
Leave
the
coaches
problem.
at the crib. Play a 7-game series, they would beat us.
I'm gonna disagree with that, because I think if where they got the advantage is the coaching. and
that-
the fact that he's been coaching them for 10+ years now. Like he knows that team and he knows who to play. They benched Kuminga for how long? And the whole fan base was like, you got to play Kuminga. He's just like, no. And people will say it's because of the contract or whatever. But Kerr's like, bro, he's not time for him right now. He doesn't fit this right now. He knows who to plug and play. And my pushback is what Flea just said was on point about judging these coaches. How do you critique them? Because how the hell can you stack Popovich, Phil? I don't care who you got. Now Rick Carlisle has entered the most underrated coach of all time conversation. How can you possibly compare Pat Riley to him when they all, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Popovich, all of them had the greatest players of all time under their wing? He didn't have that. He was about to win a chip or go to the chip, contend for a chip without any one of those guys with Indiana. The first time when he was coaching them. Now he's going back there. Halliburton's not going to be known as the top 20 player of all time, and he's back there again. Dirk is not. He's not top 10 in a lot of people's eyes. That run that Dallas had is the greatest run ever in for any championship. And remember, before that, Dirk was known as soft. He did that. So when we start stacking these like, all right, he's not popping your mind. Why not? That for me is way harder to do than what Phil Jackson and all these other guys do. They always get and Red Auerbach, who was stealing all these draft picks and maneuver and everything. That's kind of snaky, but I respect it because he's the man.
I didn't want to get lazy and just say this earlier, but all great coaches got great players, man. I don't care how you slice it. All great coaches have great players. It is what it like. We could jazz it up all you want. You ain't never seen Phil Jackson win a championship without having great players. Or your favorite coach ain't won without having great players. So
LB so wavy.
What was good?
What's going on?
Belichick was nice until his man's left, and look what happened.
Mad
Flea.
Mad disrespect.
Did y'all check Flea? Is he all right?
Flea's good. Listen, we got. Don't
start him up. I just came here like maybe 15 minutes ago. So.
Oh no, yeah, he's all right, man. He was I knew he was gonna come in crazy because in the Discord he was going bananas, in the group chat he was going bananas, and I was hoping so. We just honed him in, and him and AllBall was going at it. He kind of went at it with me, but we need that. We need that from Flea. What's up though, LB?
Man, when I checked the news, because my homeboy sent this to me, I said, hold on, before I even go crazy, let me double check if it's actually a thing.
Same thing.
I go on Shan's page, I'm like, oh, he's out of here.
Yep.
And then I just been in a state of euphoria all day. This is my NBA Finals. This is my NBA Finals right now, okay?
After losing the way we did and then blaming him the way we have, and it's like, to Flea's point though, whoever we hire now has to answer that bell because we feel like, it was on him. So,
he's the common denominator and everything. There were players that had fault, not blowing the assignments, but that comes with Tibbs. And it makes it even crazier because I was watching Knicks Fan TV earlier. Somebody called in and they talked about Jeff Teague was talking about Tibbs today. And he was saying something about when they was coaching him and stuff. He doesn't really coach really. He just stands there and just arms folded, just pretty much Darvin Ham version, just arms folded.
But real quick, LB, what was worse about that comment that Jeff Teague made again that I pointed out was that he's a micromanager, that he didn't want anybody. He was just trying to put his hands on everything. And to me, if you are that level of micromanager, how is it that in game you are not micromanaging these decisions that are basically fatalistic for us? Because King's Speech just put it better than everybody else I've heard ever. These are 3 years in a row that we had home court advantage and we lost. And 2 out of these 3 we should have won. It was a one-legged Jimmy Butler. Last year it was injuries. You could chalk it up to that all you want to, even though I think we played extra games against Philly that we shouldn't have. And in this season against the Pacers, we're fully healthy. There is no Randall being hurt like he was against Miami. What's the excuse this year?
Yeah,
even last year, we were 2-0. We were up 2-0, almost taking a 3-0 lead.
Yep.
We just played
even last year. So when it came down to the injuries.
Yep.
Oh, and I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the other clip when he was saying that he got his hands on everything. So when remember you talked about for weeks on end Well, like, how come the coaching staff, like, when you be watching the game, coach staff don't be like, they just be sitting there looking like tight, miserable and all
Right.
that?
Right.
It all makes sense now because
Yeah.
Tibbs don't let them do nothing.
Yeah. But apparently they had a hand in checking these guys in. They were starting to do all this after Mikal Bridges complained and said, "Yo, we're playing too many minutes." So they were starting. It looked like Rick Brunson was on the sideline telling him, "Yo, put this guy in, rest this guy." So you knew that already. But the problem for us is, bro, it's game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and these guys. That's how Indiana, Cleveland, Boston, OKC, all these teams that are loaded and are the top tier teams. You're going to play one of them or 2 of them. They all play 9-10 guys. How are you going to play only 7 guys against them?
It's crazy. I haven't seen DeLon. I think I only seen DeLon Wright maybe like 2-3 times throughout that whole second half of the season. I didn't see him again until facing elimination.
No. He played. Remember when Brunson went out, DeLon Wright was in the game. He was playing.
Yeah, he started for a couple of games. Actually, when Payne went down. Remember, Payne got hurt. And then DeLon Wright got a couple of starts. So he went from not in the rotation to starting.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's what Brunson was out for, like 4 weeks, right?
Yeah. Brunson was out, then Payne got hurt behind Brunson, and then DeLon Wright got from off the bench to starting because I guess he didn't trust Deuce start. Well, no, Deuce got hurt too. Remember, Deuce had the groin, so we were down to our 4th-string point guard when it came with the Payne. I mean, when it came to Wright. I
got a question for you guys. And you could go first, King Speaker, because your mic is now immaculate.
Okay.
What I think, because I like this comment right here from Dawn. This series was just the straw that broke the camel's back for everybody else. For me, it was the grimy-ish he did to any player who wasn't a Tibbs guy. And people scream Obi, but I understand the Obi trade because to me, I didn't see greatness out of him. But the one thing in 2020 hindsight, to me, the worst move that Leon Rose has made, the only real bad move is the Quentin Grimes thing. You had 3 or 4 shooting guards on the roster, Dante DiVincenzo there, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, and then Quentin Grimes at the end of the bench. So you telling me in practice you saw Quentin Grimes and you didn't see any of this coming out? He changed his whole shooting form and everything with JJ Redick. To me, I think that's the worst move in Leon Rose's tenure. What do you think, King Speech?
Well, okay, 2 things. The Obi trade, all right, you didn't see greatness, but you saw a little bit of flash or something. Rose, I'm gonna take him to task because you got 1 second-round pick. And then Dude put the finishing touches in the overtime. He caught that lob dunk in game 1 in overtime, and then he was putting the nail in the coffin with those dunks. And Carlisle did that on purpose. Carlisle was like, okay, you mad at Tibbs? Show him right here. And right there, 4th quarter, game 6, Obi, go look at, probably Obi had like 10, 12 points in that 4th quarter. So it's like, okay, all right, we know he was never going to play as long as Randall was here, but you got 1 second-round pick, bro. We used the lottery pick on this dude. We passed up Halliburton for this dude.
That's the other bad part about it. But with that, he's still a super role player. Quentin Grimes.
I get it. Yeah,
Grimes looks like a starting 2 guard right now. That's a different level.
He's a starting 2 guard, and I think about Grimes. I think he can do that on bad teams or mediocre teams. I'm not sure he's your top 3 on a playoff team. Like, can he be a big 3 in a play?
Hold on.
Look, I like 40 balls.
Hold on, I'm gonna pass the LB. But here's my thing with that, King Speech. Cool. If it's questionable for you. That question, how hard is it to answer compared to Obi being a top 3 guy on any team? That's not even close.
Yeah. Obi is explosive offensively. His defense is so whack that you're never going to take him seriously. You know what I'm saying? No, he's a turnstile on defense, and you can't be that at the 4 in this day and age. Yeah.
And Grimes is not a turnstile. LB.
Grimes is a delete defender. To me, he's Allen Houston with defense potentially, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the Allen Houston thing we saw early. LB, what you think? And we got to get Monkey Wrench in here also.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you because you brought this up on your last stream too. It's like you're saying this in hindsight because of what you've seen what he's doing in Philly. He's on Philly, remember that. So he has free reign to do whatever. The whole team was down.
Okay.
Now, I understand that. We all saw Quentin Grimes' potential, but remember, he was terrible going into the beginning of the season before we traded him. Remember that. And he played himself out of starting, and Dante took over. Yes. Dante was getting better.
Correct.
Remember, we was all screaming at Dante, like, put Dante in there, bro. What are you doing?
Right.
Then Quentin Grimes wanted to leave. We said we needed more pieces, so we got Alec Burks and Bogey. It just works. Now, if anybody who messed up, it was Dallas. Dallas messed up by training for Kobe Bryant or Cody Martin or whatever brother it is.
One of the Martin twins.
Yeah, one of the Martin twins or whatever. They messed up. We didn't mess up because all of this led up to where we at now.
Right. So do you have what's the worst move to you in on the Leon Rose tenure?
I can't remember his name because it's been a minute, but I think it was like a player that he drafted like when he first got here or in a trade or something. He's not here right now.
What position, like LB?
Huh?
What position he played?
I think he played the 3. I can't remember his name because he wasn't here.
No, because he didn't draft Barrett. That was the guy before him. Barrett actually came before
RJ. This was before RJ.
No, so the next draft, the 18, Barrett came in the 18 draft, the 19 draft. Did we even have a pick?
I can't remember his name.
No, it wasn't Knox. Knox was 17.
Somebody or brung somebody here. We was like, why would he do that? And he wasn't like really
Obi
around
was 20.
Like that. Yeah.
Obi and quickly was 20. Who do we draft in 19?
It was like a
Yo, Chad, help us out.
Look it up.
It was a no-name dude.
2019 Knicks draft pick.
I think he came from overseas too. Like
2019 was the RJ Barrett draft. So we saying 2020?
Maybe.
Then
it
Obi.
Might have been 2020. It wasn't
Obi. In 2020, the pandemic year was Obi.
Okay. Anybody that we know, like familiar with, it's not them. It's like a random dude, and I just can't remember who it was. It was like, why did you bring him here? And it was like, okay, but then we didn't see him no more like that. So I was like, okay.
21, we drafted Deuce and Grimes.
Leon didn't really do nothing like crazy. Like,
so these are the draft picks in the last couple of years. Last year, we know our guys. And 20 was Leandro Balmado.
Yeah. I think that's him.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, but we turned him into quickly. Remember that? We traded back. Actually, that was a great move because he traded back, got Emmanuel quickly. Then he got extra draft picks. He got extra second rounders for that. So not only did he get the better player, he got more draft picks for trading back. Remember, we got that pick from trading Mook Morris. To the Clippers and we got that second round pick, that second draft pick from the Clippers. Then we come draft day, we traded back to get quickly, and quickly turned out to be a steal. So look, Rose got his finger on the pulse, man. I mean, to me, like I said, it was getting nothing for Obi. That's the thing that killed me.
2 second round picks was crazy.
Just Nick.
Yeah, I don't even like who. I mean, okay, maybe one of them turned into one of these guys we got as a rook. Now I don't know.
We could have got a player in return for that Obi trade from Indiana, right?
I mean,
and he chose not to do that. Like,
but because that's all the salary cap thing.
You clearing out cap.
We can't say Cam Reddish because Cam Reddish went to Josh Hart, and that was that was
Cam. And we traded Tim. I think did we trade Tim Hardaway Jr. back to Atlanta for Cam Reddish or something like that?
Oh, maybe was that Tim Hardaway Jr.?
We traded somebody we didn't really need, and we got Cam Reddish on the flyer. Cam Reddish was just lazy.
Wasn't it Dennis Smith?
Well, it might have been Dennis Smith. God, Jesus, bro. See, y'all. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna go over the long, hard history all the way back from passing on Ron Artest to where we at now, man. Bro, the comedy of errors we have made. That's why I trust Rose, because Rose, 90% of his moves is hit. 90% of it. So you gotta trust him. Did y'all see the headlines, guys?
For what?
That they had the meeting with Dolan.
Yeah.
And you're not talking about DeLon Wright. You talking about the top 8, the guys that's under contract. Mm-hmm. They said they didn't know they rose. That's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can't be going for a championship and guys don't know they roll. Meanwhile, motherfucking dude, I'm sorry, I don't want the cursing, but a dude that looked like Ron Johnson from a different world and Will Bradley is kicking our ass. Our top 8 don't know their roles. So I refuse to believe that Indiana is better than us. I refuse.
Ron Johnson.
They're not.
Crazy.
They're not better than us.
Ben Shepherd with the Ron Johnson mustache kicking our behind, driving our captain left. And that's the next thing, man. We need a second guard out there, bro. We need a second playmaking point guard. Because you know me, LB, I be going back and forth with Cino. He's right on it. You push Brunson left.
I'm not even worried about that. We'll fix that. We'll fix our bench and all of that stuff easy. It's the major players that like who's going. I know Mitch is the main one that's going because CBA reasons. So
no, he make $13 million. That's a beautiful contract in this day and age.
CBA ain't playing. This is why they got rid of the coach because this involves coaches too. Like, dog, this is why everybody find their coaches early because the CBA is harsh on everything next year. It's not just players; it's everything. Like,
yeah, but my whole thing with this is I know that the Garden or MSG is in debt and Dolan's trying to get out of debt or whatever it is. But I don't want to hear no shit. If you can win a championship, I can only imagine how the value of the New York Knicks going astronomical, and you take out whatever loans and do whatever sneaky business you got to do as a billionaire. I don't want to hear this shit about the second April.
Don't tell me Dolan spent the money on Jerome James and Eddie Curry when that was punitive. When it was the dollar wasn't even what it is now. Don't cheap out now, bro. We are this close. So I want the Knicks fans to understand. Stop listening to the goddamn media, bro. This is why we tune in to AllBall. This is why we tune in to bro. Stop Knicks fan TV. All the brothers in the space, man. Fuck ESPN. F ESPN. Don't listen to Stephen A. Smith talk about we overachieved. Or don't listen to these fools. We are this close. We are this close. So Tibbs is the move that had to go because he got his lunch stolen. Spo stole his lunch. And then Carlisle did it twice. And we could debate on how great Carlisle is or not. Carlisle clearly proves that he's a better coach than Tibbs. Because again, you getting not only that, you took the guy that you didn't want. You didn't want OB. And he put him in and say, bro, finish this off. Here's the baton, finish this race.
Yeah, like the fact that's my problem with that. The fact that, you know, your counterpunch was 3 games too late. That counterpunch should have been made from game 1, right?
Yep.
And then the fact that Carlisle had the confidence to put in OB Toppin is insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. So
yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Carlisle turns average players in his system.
I believe that till this day. I believe that like he purposely strategically did that.
Right.
To prove a point. So Obi can prove his point.
That's like winning a race and looking back at the nigga. That's like Usain Bolt did back at the Olympics.
Well, it's similar to my problem with that is because I think every coach has their pet peeve like that. It's like almost superstitious, or what I call it is trying to steal the front page. Like you're trying to make a little biblical moment, right? And that's his moment. Like we're gonna put this little dramatic spin on it and put Obi Toppin and get the revenge on his old team that drafted him. Okay, Tom Thibodeau's moment to try to steal the headline was trying to putting in Brunson up 17 in the 4th quarter in game 1 when there was no need for it. You need a defensive lineup out there. It just made no sense. But he wanted to do it because Brunson is his godson, right? And you wanted him to get the front page, bro. You got the game 1. That is the front page,
bro. Do you understand? If we won this chip, everybody in the building will be set for life. Yeah. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta win. Freak. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we got a 17-point lead. Just nurse. See, here's my thing about Thibodeau. If we're going to be a mediocre defense, I don't care if Cat's there and he's a turnstile. Right. You should be able to coach around that. Because it ain't like Hartenstein is goddamn Bill Russell. Hartenstein is a little bit better, but you turn Hartenstein. So your coaching should have made Cat a little bit more. If you ain't going to be a mediocre defense, then why do we need Tibbs? Because now we're going to be a mediocre offense when statistically, look, I put the numbers next to Boston. I put the numbers next to Pacers. We are identical when it comes to the numbers. The difference is Boston are confident in their threes, and we beat them because they were too confident in threes. Indiana runs a faster pace than we do. The numbers are identical, but their pace, they beat us by pace. They beat us by over-adjusting. I said it before game 5. Tibbs, you gotta. If you see Carlisle doing something different, then I knew he was gonna do that. Here I'm gonna come with this. No, you ran the same shit, and it did it again. Look, we was up 11-4, and then Bridges threw that whack ass inbound play. Remember that? We was up 11-4, and then Bridges through that, and then next thing you know, they up 11, they up 12-11 or something like that. Right there, you know what I'm saying? In their building, we knew we needed to fight the crowd. We knew we needed to fight the goddamn officials because I was spazzing out on 93's day. Bro, how the hell y'all called Deuce out of bounds when the game before motherfucking TJ McConnell took 2 steps out of bounds and y'all didn't call that?
He wasn't even
you know
out
what I'm
of
saying?
bounds.
But I don't even want to worry about the refs. Don't worry about the refs. You're right.
Exactly.
Put the ball in the basket. At the end of the day, we blew a chance to really take hold. We didn't come out with the intensity. And so if we're gonna be a mediocre team, what the hell we need? A defensive team. If you're gonna be if we was a top 5 defensive team, Tibbs would still be here. And again, if the players didn't say we don't know our roles, these are your star players. These are the Josh Hart, all of them. These are the guys saying we don't know our roles. That's it. You cannot have, bro. If anybody on the Mets, Giants, anybody in this town, the players that even the coach will not last the season. So that's right there. We got to stop playing around and get the guy that's going to be detail oriented. We could still be a good defensive team. Tim's principles is in the building. Or if you keep a couple of assistants coach, they knew what we were running to keep the defense. Tim's is a good defensive coach, but I don't think he adjusted enough to deal with the personnel that we had. And you saw we had flashes of great defense.
But even defensively, it's the pack the line bullshit that he was doing before Cat got here, and that was the big thing. Like, what are we gonna run now? So Cat's gonna step up, and that's the guy you want to step up, and you want Tibbs to coach this? No, you gotta coach a game plan where you know you're gonna give up points because it's Cat out there. So you gotta coach a game plan where your offense is gonna be super stellar. So from the outset, from that game 6, I'm saying, yo, if Cat and Brunson don't got to go on either one of them, or this offense ain't got to go in, you got to sit one of them down. Because if we lose momentum offensively, we can't gain any. This is going to go out quick in a hurry. The building is on fire, and we saw what happened in game 4 at Indiana. We couldn't get it together. We were throwing a bunch of turnovers. You have to at that. It was so easy to just bench either Brunson for Deuce McBride or Cat for Josh Hart. That's it, and let them rock.
Remember, the Nova boys had 11 of the 17 turnovers, and that's the key. You make live ball turnover against Indiana, they become a running team, and they kill you. You make them a half-court team, right there. The whole strategy should have been, please, guys, please stop. How many times did we dribble into traffic? How many times did we make a stupid jump pass? You're going up, you don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. A better coach offensively.
Indiana made them play a game they wasn't prepared for.
Right, but so what was that?
I said Indiana made them play a game that they wasn't prepared or they didn't prepare for. No matter what, they knew what Indiana was going to do, and they did nothing to counteract it. Like Indiana got out on turnovers, and they got out. And we could say that's on Tibbs all we want to, but the team, the players knew exactly what Indiana was going to do. And how many leak outs do you need to see Indiana do before you say, hey, one of us need to get back?
Cool, I feel you 100%. But you see what Carlisle do? Every time you score 3 straight baskets, that nigga called timeout. Because what he's doing is he's stopping that momentum before it gets out of hand. Tibbs will call a timeout after a 12-0 run, 13-0 run, and bring the same 5 dudes out. Yeah. What are you calling a timeout with the dudes that just gave up a 13-0 run, and you bring the same guys out? Oh, I'm just instructing you differently, and what happens? All right, they play a little bit better. But at this point, now they start opening up a lead. This is what Boston did to us. And we had to, because we were a better fourth quarter team. That I'll give Thibodeau credit for having us. We were able to walk Boston down. We even walked Indiana down the one time. The other game we won was a blowout. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you got, again, I said, that Carlisle adjusts. You got to adjust. And again, it's just like at D'Antoni. When I watched 4 seasons of D'Antoni, a guy that puts his system in and thinks that's it. He make no adjustment. Tibbs is that same type of, but only he's the defensive coach more than an offense. Of course, Tibbs is better than D'Antoni. But like I said, man, he's a 6 next to a bunch of 2s, and we think that's Miss America. No, bro.
She's not
she's
good,
a 6.
bro.
She's cute.
If Tibbs just got fired and he had no answer for this fastball for Indiana, can we continue calling Tibbs the defensive genius?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I didn't like the defense against the pack the line shit against Miami, because Miami had a bunch of second round picks and all they did was swing the ball around. They knew that third and fourth pass was gonna be an open man because everyone was just so worried about not giving up an open layup. And it's like, fuck it. And Miami was on fire. They just happened to be on fire. But Jimmy Butler's on one leg. Yo, go switch the defense up. Go. We had Grimes was there. Or we traded him that year. No, Grimes was still there because that's when he defended Jimmy Butler on the one leg. We had 3 or 4 guards that year. Like, go tire everybody. Again, you're not going for the 9-10 man rotation. Go tire Jimmy Butler out. Same thing with Embiid. We should have swept Philly. To me, it was obvious. And I mean, to Fisher's point, he was saying we don't have the personnel for it this year, which I agree with.
Gentlemen sweep them. We could have gentlemen sweep Philly, but that was just due to Mitchell Robinson just drawing a bad play, trying to jump on Tyrese Maxey. They called it and-1.
No. That should have been a fucking sweep, bro. Again, if you know your game plan,
no one had them as a sweep. We had them in 5.
I had us beating Cleveland the first round the year before. Everybody was just like, no, we should sweep Cleveland. Mitchell Robinson bullies them. What the fuck are y'all watching? And we beat them bad. And against Miami, I'm like, who's gonna out rebound Mitch? This is easy money. And it was Tibbs, bro. It just was.
The Miami series what made me go insane because he held on to those timeouts and they went on like how much of a run they went. And I was like, Tibbs, we're facing elimination. Call a timeout. This dude waited until they went up by like 15. I was like, are you insane? Get him out of here. That was the year I was like, nah, I wanted him going ever since.
And Brunson
remember game 1. Remember game 1. I just landed in Rio de Janeiro and I'm watching that game and Butler had the ankle and you don't go after him. You took him off the hook. You was not running plays at him. They had him on the court and he couldn't guard nobody. And so again, and then game 3, I happened to be on the bus going back to a different town when I was still in Brazil. I couldn't see the game, but I could just tell by the box score. Knicks ain't come out with no fire. And at that point, we was in the hole. You know, that was game 4. So we down 3-1. We won game 5. And then again, see, that's what I'm saying. We working from behind on teams we should be ahead of. Again, last year, we did not kill it from that up 2-0. We should have won game 3. I know Carlisle bitched about the refs, and they got a bunch of controversial calls, and they still needed the Nimhart 30-footer to beat us in that game 3. But again, all we needed was that game and another game, and we get out of that series. We get to see Boston last year. And I think even banged up, we could have gave Boston a scrap at least. This year, we would have that Boston stuff ain't real.
We would have got swept.
When?
I don't know that. I don't know. You know what? You know what?
You always do this, bro.
Last year,
always do this, King Speech. You be in like delusional land.
Wait. I'm being delusional. Look what we did this year.
Fellas. What year we talking about against Boston?
Last year.
The one last year.
Last year.
I don't think we get swept because I don't think we built to get swept.
Bro, we get swept. It was just
everybody was hurt.
Yes. So, but last year, what are you saying? How are we facing them with Randall out or who?
No, when everybody's out, it's just
everybody was hurt.
Yeah, OG would have been hurt. We would have had to scrap together with Dante.
Right.
See, here's the thing. Hold on. If we win in 5, hold on, because if I'm just saying in the universe where we win game 3, then we knock Indiana out in 5. We don't even get to a game 7. So Brunson never breaks his hand, right?
Okay.
And then we get a little bit of rest, and we would have got a couple of games again.
No.
LB, you got to give me credit because I've said Boston wasn't like that the whole year, LB. You heard me and Cino. I called Boston out on day 1 when they whooped our ass. I said that 3-point shit is not going to rock in the playoffs. And what happened?
But Kingsby, hold on. You're saying that without Randall, OG, and Mitch, we would have beat them?
No, I said we would have gave them a scrap. We gave them something to think about because we were a battling team. I think Boston is not really a tough team, and we proved that this year.
Bro,
Boston Boston got a soft underbelly.
You got to stop.
It is what it is. Either way, we would have got the experience. I'm not saying we get swept. Maybe 5.
We're getting swept. There's no bro. It's Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown were playing 94 feet on Luka Doncic, and they got gentlemen swept. We didn't have they have screen setters and lob threats the entire game, and they still couldn't do anything.
But they did the same thing to Brunson. We were up 3-1.
When?
This year. I'm talking about this year. Now again, I know we got a
I ain't
different, little bit
talking
different
about this
roster.
year.
No, wait.
Speech,
Yeah,
you're
that's
all over the place.
right.
Last
That's
year,
All right. It doesn't because we're doing a what?
No.
We're doing a what if.
I am.
No. Your
But
what if is I'm going off the scenario we win game 7. Just say if
Well,
Dante
no, I'm
pulls
see
through
what
in
I'm
game
saying. If we
7,
take game
that
3,
means we're
there
going
is no
into
game
the,
7. We knocked them out in 5.
Speech. Hold on, Speech. Listen, we're going into a game 7. Just say if Dante actually pulls through when he was throwing all those barrages of threes and all that. Just say it's just him, Hartenstein, Deuce, and Precious, bro. We're getting swept.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
I like our see. That's the thing. You know what it is? I like our fight, and our fight would have got us one game, at least one game, and something to think about. But all right, it don't matter because we beat them this year. Problem is we ain't finished the motherfucking deal, and I'm looking forward to finish the deal, bro. Again, we got moves to make. We got look. Number one, we should be the first in line to get our coach. Ain't no other job available open right now with a team ready to win a championship than the Knicks, right? You can say that because everybody else is supposedly a contender got their coach in place. So if a coach is out there and once his first year got a chance to win a chip, the Knicks is that team. And who else?
But now for me, last year I'd say we could have beat Boston if OG was healthy and would have been 7
Yeah, and we know that and he wasn't. Yeah,
right. But
and he's
but you needed Mitch and OG there because defensively it would have been monsters.
Yeah, Mitch was done. Yeah, Mitch was done. Unfortunately, with Embiid.
But the problem is it would have been, a lot for Tibbs to handle. And that's really the other thing. Because once the guy goes down, bro, I don't care what anybody says. That team last year was just better than this year because it kept Thibodeau honest. It kept Brunson honest. It kept Randall honest. You got to give the ball up. It's Hartenstein running the offense. Randall setting the pick. Hartenstein setting the pick. Mitch setting the pick. Mitch was the backup. Achua was the backup to the backup. Yeah. You got 3 or 4 guys on rotation on the front court. You got 3 or 4, 5 guys on a rotation in the back court. If we would wait, and now it keeps Brunson honest because you gotta go get the pick set for you from a Randall, from a Hartenstein, from a Mitch. That's something for the Boston to think about and have to deal with in the half court. But once OG goes down and Mitch goes down, and without Randall, that's what my big thing was. Yeah, with Randall we beat Boston because Randall used to smoke Boston.
Sure did.
IQ used to smoke Boston with us. They would have been tough. And like to your point, Boston's a finesse team, man. Hold on, real quick. Don P, I see you in here, man. What's going on with the Samuel L logo?
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Yeah, so I want to say this, man. I haven't heard y'all long, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna put it on y'all, but I heard it a lot in these chats. And I see a lot of people's blaming Cat for what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is crazy to me. Because, the Zesty dude, like he was doing his thing. I ain't gonna hold you. Right. He was doing his thing. Would the blame should go to? And I know don't nobody want to hear this, but I gotta call a spade a spade. It's Brunson. It's Brunson. Whenever they sat him down, the offense seemed a lot more efficient. It seemed a lot more smooth. I feel like they was going on a lot more runs. And people try to play and say, oh, well, it's because of his defense. No, it's not because of his defense. It's because of the lack of ball movement. Like for Brunson's skill set, I feel like it's similar. Not his game. I'm just talking about his skill set in terms of scoring. His skill set reminds me of how the Sixers used to use Lou Williams. There's a reason why they never put Lou Williams as a starting point guard. There's a reason why he come off the bench because his skill set was scoring. He could get you a bucket because he won the team. Could he distribute the ball? Now, before when Brunson didn't have talent around him, you could give him the excuse like, oh, there's nobody to pass it to, so he got to get a bucket. Cool. But what about now? You got Cat. You got Mikal Bridges. What about now? Now, even if some of them can't get their own baskets, your job as a point guard is to make it easy for them to get baskets. Put them in position for them to get easy baskets. You feel me? So, with that said, and I know I'm going on a whole time. With that said, I feel like most of that blame need to be put on Brunson. It can't be put on the Zesty monster. Because he did his thing. I ain't gonna hold you. He did his thing, yo.
He put out 20 points in every game of the series.
Listen, let me say this. Let me say this. I hate anybody that's mad that we call Cat zesty, whatever it is, because Dennis Rodman is the zestiest man of all time, and nobody like the Bulls took a chance on him. It was a risk to go get him, and they still got him. I don't care how zesty he is, as long as he wins.
Thank
And I
you.
think you, Don P. I think you're right. Maybe this wasn't the series for Brunson, and that's okay. I don't care how many points you're scoring, but Cat has to be more commanding, and he didn't have to be because he showed you when Brunson sat down, we were up 17 in the fourth quarter, and we would have been in game 7. It's just a fact. That's just at minimum. So, as much of a Brunson fan I am, and I wasn't even a Cat guy coming in this year, Don P. Everybody knows that, but I got to give him his props. He was killing the Pacers when it was time to run that offense through him. So I don't think you're wrong about that. But now comparing him to Lou Will is mad disrespectful. Mad
Yeah,
disrespectful.
that's crazy. That's
I mean,
crazy.
I mean, but all right. So I say this right. So you look at Brunson's assist numbers, you'll see what 7 assists per game during the season, right? But when you're looking at, it's like the eye test is conflicting with the box score. Because when you're looking at the game, don't think that for 1 minute I don't see people in the chat screaming for Brunson to pass the ball. I've never seen that before.
But
People
no.
screaming for Brunson to pass the rock.
We've
Oh,
done
see,
it.
like you said, you haven't been listening to us for long, so we went into a whole
Not y'all. I'm just talking about the chat.
No. I'm saying we went through a whole, like the same way we argued today after game 2 with the Pistons. We went to a crazy argument because I'm saying I don't care if Brunson ain't passing the ball. He's the only one that showed up. So the ball hogging thing is a thing with him. That's what he is, Don P. So I'm not saying, I don't expect him to be Steve Nash or be a pure point guard. That's not who he is. The Knicks messed up by not keeping him honest. You keeping him on the ball. Why is he on the ball? Why is he trying to bring the ball up 94 feet?
Take the pressure off. Take it out of his hand.
Why is it that we waited till game 6 for Bridges to bring the ball up predominantly? How? He's taking 8 seconds to cross half court. It takes 8 seconds to cross half court. What are you talking about? That's a violation.
Let me ask y'all this. Because I low key feel like you taking some of the slack off of Brunson low key. So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And I know
hold on. Don't hold me accountable. How do you think I'm taking them off? The slack
all right,
off.
so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
Sure.
Look at the starting 5 that the Knicks have. If you was to switch roles and Halliburton had that roster, you don't think the Knicks would have been more efficient, regardless of
That's true. That actually is a little true.
Not with Halliburton, no.
With
No, I think it's true. I think Halliburton gets a lot of these guys open. That's what Halliburton does. See,
but
Halliburton
we
could
would not
be the
be
general on the floor.
We would not be.
And Brunson was never the general on the floor.
So we would not have a score because Halliburton's not a scorer. I watch Halliburton. See, a lot of motherfuckers don't watch the Indiana Pacers like that. I
watched him in Sacramento. I said he was better than Darius
I know about
rookie year.
Halliburton before his blow up. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, you don't need a guy who's gonna give you $1 million. It's like, dog, and then you just drop 0 out of nowhere, and then occasionally you get 15 points, then have 0 out of no, that doesn't work. It works for Indiana because they play transitional basketball, so it works for him in that team, not here.
And here's my thing. It's not that Don P. You ain't wrong about that, Don P. We would push the ball more, and he would be more of a point guard, sure. But then there are duds. Shout out to Lamar from FYF Sports. He really made it a point. Halliburton has a lot of duds. Brunson ain't having no 8-point games. So there's games that he has to show up because right.
One of the times Lamar was right.
Hold on. But because there's games that Cat's not gonna show up. I don't care if you're passing the ball 50 times. He's not aggressive. So you're gonna need the aggressive sidekick or the aggressive 1A to do his thing, and that's what Brunson is. So again, Indiana makes sense for Halliburton because they surrounded him. They built the team on him, and that's my problem. We talked about the other day. We didn't really build this team around Brunson. Like we caught lightning in a bottle with Brunson and them last year by having a whole bunch of screen setters for a guy who holds the ball. Because every one-on-one player needs that. If you're gonna hold the ball, all right, now you need more guys that at least one of the guys that can get for a one-on-one with Randall last year, and then you got a bunch of screen setters so that you can't hold the ball. Other people can get the ball as well to go around these screens. Am I still
we built the team around Brunson. We just built it around.
Capped it out when he got to get called out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I gotta. Yo, I love y'all guys, man. I gotta break out and set up my own show. I just want to let one question. How did y'all feel when Halliburton picked his pocket in that corner? I think that was game 4. It was game 4.
Like,
we went down 3-1. When Halliburton picked his pockets, what did y'all think?
I feel like somebody missed the communication. I mean, I play ball, and every time you see the second man or you see a pick coming, your man's is supposed to be like, yo, pick left, pick right, yo, man on, something like that. Why wasn't they out there?
Watch your right. Yeah. But see, Brunson went all the way left and he took his eye off. Shepard pushed him left, then he took his eye off, and Halliburton is not a defensive dude, but he read it like a book, like Dion on the corner, bro. And just picked his pocket. And that's when I knew, bro, like, yo, this is the problem.
Go ahead, Monkey Man.
So my rebuttal to what Fabian said, like, I would say that you right. You know what I mean? There's rarely does Brunson get a dubs when it comes to scoring. I get that. But for me personally, when I'm looking at a point guard, especially when you don't have talent on your roster, cool. I'm not gonna hold you to distributing the ball when everybody's not trying to do their thing. But if you got talent on the roster, there's no excuse, right? And Halliburton, what he does when he does get dubs, if y'all ever notice why he get like a lot of 24-second clock violations, he's always looking for a advantage. He's always searching for advantage or that perfect play. He's always searching for that. Brunson, on the other hand, he's only looking to score. The only times when he's looking to pass is if he doesn't have anything or when he's being double teamed or overwhelmed. And I feel like in a squad to where you have talent, it's unacceptable. It's not going to work. And if you're playing a fast-paced team and you're sitting there backing it up from the half-court line and you're taking up 24 seconds just to get shoot the ball, and that's what you're planning on doing, then how can you go against a team who's looking to score 3 or 4 buckets within 18 seconds? How can you compete against them?
That's my beef with Flea all the time, that we can't coach based on what you expect. Yo, you should be a point guard. Yo, you should be Steve Nash. There's only how many point guards can pass and shoot like that and can score like that in the history of the basketball? Is Chris in the last 15 years? Is Chris Paul, Steve Nash? You know who's in this category?
J Kidd, I believe.
Nah, J Kidd couldn't score. That's my favorite point guard ever. He couldn't score like that. He has to
before. He learned how to score later. Yeah.
Right, but even Joker to me is a point center. He can point, he can score and pass. Like there's very few guys that can really do this. Like Larry Bird, the guys that can shoot, that can score and pass from as many places as possible in the half court, they're the most dangerous offensive players. That's why the offense should be run through Cat. Cat is a way better passer than Jalen Brunson. That's where they messed up at, Don P. Like, I agree with you, but that's on coaching. That's why I said in game 6, if you start the game off like that and it didn't go how you wanted to go, either bench Brunson for Deuce or bench Cat for Hart, because you can't have them on the court together because you're not creating anything. So one of those 1A's got to take over. One of them, because they can both score. So you're not wrong, Don P, at all. Yes, he should be a better passer, but that's not what he does. As a matter of fact, he's very limited on his passing because of his short-ass T-Rex arms. That limits him. And bad enough, he'll dribble into the corner by the half-court line and out-of-bounds line. He used to do a lot of that. He's doing less of it now, but he still did it in the playoffs, and it pissed me off. All that Bridges, that finesse style where they think they could lean, they always lean towards the half-court to try to cross you up. Where are you going? None of y'all have a handle like that. Like Brunson's handle is to score in the paint, not to be dribbling and rucker parking dudes from the half-court, from the logo. It's not your style. So you're not benefiting us in that way. Don P, you're not wrong at all. Trust me. But the game plan got to be adjusted where Bridges brings the ball up and Brunson has to go off ball and shoot down court, because at the end of the day, you're going to get the most attention. You're the number 1 scorer on the team. Let them get their best player down there, then you adjust. It's just like football, man. And to King's point earlier, like with the Jimmy Butler series against Miami, you're supposed to target the guy, the weak link, set screens on him, switch on him, just like we did with Boston. We keep how many screens they ran for Brunson to go get Horford on him, but we didn't do that for Siakam in this series on Brunson. Like we didn't do any of that.
Because you want to know why? Because everybody just stood around and just watched him play ISO.
Yeah.
instead of moving around off the ball, and
Yep.
that's their fault doing that.
I feel like
That's
they can
not
blame
Brunson.
the.
That's
I
their
think
fault.
that it is Brunson. It's Brunson and Tibbs. And the reason I say that is because when Brunson was out for them 12, 15 games, however long he was out, and the whole squad was going crazy with DeLon Wright and OG, they both. I'm talking Tibbs and Brunson had the opportunity to sit on the bench together and see what the team was doing when you didn't have Brunson out there. So we don't need all them ball handlers if we just swing the ball. We don't gotta handle the ball. Swing the ball how they was doing when you wasn't on the court, and things will be fine. But then the fact when Brunson came back in the game off of injury, it went right back to ISO ball and backing down. That's a problem.
Yep. Yep.
I will say this though: when it
Yeah.
comes to Brunson, right? We've seen this for like since he's been here. Occasionally he will have these tunnel vision games where he sees nothing but the basket
Correct.
and doesn't play. He just forgets about his team completely.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the following game he doesn't do that, and then he bounces right back and then involves the team. Like occasionally it happens like a few times throughout the year. I just hate it when it happens in the playoffs because he did it. Remember he did it last year against Philly, and it drove me insane. I was like, dog, we could have won that overtime. It's like.
And they cut off the left side of the court. And to piggyback off that, LB, I think to your point, that shit fucked Brunson up this series. But the blame that we put on him after game 3 or whatever, you hogging the ball too much. He really looked to try to not get the ball. He did some to me in game 4, I think it was. He was trying to do some Kobe shit and not pass the ball in game 7 against Phoenix. And he was like, yo, fuck it, I'm not gonna shoot. Let's see what happens. And it really messed with him.
Oh, and 08, when I brought that up the other day. The 08 finals.
Yeah. No, not the finals, the first round against Phoenix.
I would say this though, man. Like I agree with your point on the cat situation. I think that's very constructive of you to say that because he is a better passer than Brunson. So if they do run the ball, if they run it through Cat, especially with the gravity he commands, yeah, that'll be deadly. And Brunson, I'm not a big fan of him, but what I will say is he can knock down shots. He can shoot. The dude can shoot. You know what I mean? And he's clutch. I ain't gonna hold you. So he would be better off the ball, and Cat would be better off, running the offense.
Well,
especially if he can take it up on bigger people than him. That's AI. Right.
Well, I think Brunson also just started really becoming clutch this year. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I've been criticizing him because he puts himself in too much trouble. Remember the Laker game from 2 years ago when LeBron decided to guard him and he locked him up for the last 2 minutes or whatever it was because he knew, he's just bullheaded. Watch this. LeBron will lock up Kawhi Leonard today. So that's where Brunson is. Okay, you a clutch guy, but don't put yourself in the worst situation possible to take a shot. That's where that bullheadedness, Don P, that you talking about. Trust me, I don't like it. You put yourself in a bad position. It's like, no, the hero ball stuff doesn't work if you're coming back in and you're gonna go one-on-one and you're trying to look for a foul. We don't want the game to slow down. We want the free flowing so we could put the paces in become more erratic on defense. Make them think on defense because they're already trying to get on offense. They know what they want to do on offense. They already have that thought in mind. No, get on the offensive end, try to get an offensive rebound to extend the possession, and we could keep running this offense through Cat.
Right. And that's all I got to say. But yeah, man, I'm about to hop off, man. Yo, thank you for having me on the show. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in about Brunson, man. It sounds like I'm hating on him. I just feel like he got so much praise that
constructive criticism.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I wanted to respond to you about Cat though, because there is one thing you kept leaving out about Cat.
What's that?
When the reports was coming out about Cat, everybody is missing the key word defense.
Right.
Offense, we knew what it was with Cat. It doesn't matter how much you score, as long as you letting the other team score. It doesn't matter. We're still back at 1 or whatever. We still back at square one. And he be blowing his mind. That's why OG blew a battle because it's like now I gotta cover my man and your man.
So true, but I would say this about Cat. You right. Like his defense is below par, right? But I have 2 things with that. Number one, we've seen a lot worse. Y'all remember Enes Kanter and his defense? Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
That's number one. Number two, Cat. Just judging from the Pacers series, the amount of attention that he garnishes when he has the ball in his hands, pause, is crazy. It's ridiculous. He's scoring on two people. It's his offense is so good that it offsets his defense. And I
No,
know
it
you guys.
doesn't. I don't
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that
of
at
course
all.
it does.
I don't agree
yo,
with that at
I'm gonna put
all.
it this way. I'm gonna put it this way. I don't care if y'all agree or not. If it wasn't for Cat and his offense, if it wasn't for Mitch and his rebounding and his presence on the paint and OG and his consistency, the Knicks would have been swept and blow out every single game in the Pacers series.
Yeah,
Right
a
or
million
wrong?
percent. Right, absolutely right,
I agree
100%.
with you on the offense. No one is disagreeing with it. Like I've seen this across social media for like all weekend.
What's that?
No one is talking about his offense. It's the defense. Dude, it's at the point you're a turnstile. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, you do stupid fouls? No,
yeah.
unacceptable,
Uh,
bro. And it ain't like fouls where it's like the ref's just messing with you. No, it's like straight up like I'm grabbing you and pushing you to the floor like he did Derek White type fouls.
right,
It's like why?
but LB, to Don P's point, even with all his flaws, that's how great he is offensively. Offensive rebounds, the and ones when he does get the calls, that's how great he is. It does offset his defense. It really does. Because if it didn't, we would not be the third seed. We would not have been 2 games away from the finals. There's no way you could say that, that his defense is as bad as it is. We were up 17 in game 1 with an all defensive team. We had
But
the lineup to surround them with, and we got away from it. We can't shit on him for that.
I can accept that with Brunson because he's 6'1". Okay, like your offense, your offense offsets your defense. But with a 7-footer, I'm not accepting that, bro. No, I'm
See
sorry.
that, but again, I don't like that. But you knew that going into the season.
We knew,
Nobody,
and I
right,
accepted it.
right.
And I
But
accepted that, like, yeah, Leon's gonna get him, so it doesn't matter. So, like, you just gotta cope for that. Like,
but LB, this is what. So we still were 2 games away from the finals. They exceeded my expectations. I did not think we were going to be in the second round or the final or the conference finals. Not
that is
with
also
Cat.
true. Thanks to Mikal. That's the only thing I could give him credit for because Mikal's been really bad this year, but I'll give him that.
He's been miscasted as well. Another guy that shouldn't be in his position. But again, even with Mikal playing like that, Cat still helped us get in his position. He's offsetting his defense and Mikal Bridges' lack of all defense caliber that would never really showed up consistently.
This is why I say when it comes to Cat, it's like, okay, like just saying there, we do pursue for Giannis and Cat is still on the team. Then I will accept his flaws because I know Giannis is a defensive presence also as much as he is offense. So that will offset the balance for Cat. We needed an offensive presence, and I mean defensive presence to make up for Cat in the front court.
It would be.
I would say that again. You're right about Cat's defense, right? But here's the thing: how you feel about Cat, right? Him not being him being a defensive liability. I would say the same about Jalen Brunson. You can't be a bad defender and a poor distributor at the same time. You can't be both. You can't be both. So how can you give a pass to Jalen Brunson, but you won't give a pass to Cat? And Cat offense is way more efficient than Brunson's.
Because one is 6'1", the other one's 7 feet. That's why. So I'm not. But I still hold Brunson accountable for what he does.
But the one that
sits, he does do assists. Like just because, like it ain't like he doesn't give you like over 10 assists a game, which he's done this year. He doesn't do it a lot.
But like I said, the eye test versus the box score is very deceptive. It's very deceptive because nobody looks at Brunson and be like, oh yeah, he gets 7 assists. You look at the box score, oh damn, he do get 7 assists. Damn, he does get 8 assists. Damn, I didn't know. You know what?
Well, I look at it that way because I'm a sports gambler too, so I be clocking like people's stats. Like, that's why I pay attention to all that stuff.
But don't see LB. That is part of the problem. Now people focus more on stats because of gambling. But here's the other thing too. I don't think Cat Don P is as efficient as Brunson. Brunson shooting damn near 50, 40, 90 sometimes, bro. Like he's
I agree.
and he's getting you call him he's a foul merchant. Everybody tries to shit on him for that. I don't care. He's just like he's getting the end when he's putting on foul
being
trouble.
the thing until Detroit.
Well, whatever, it doesn't matter where it meant whatever at, because it wasn't working against Indiana because he wasn't
Who led the
going to
league in charges taken
this year.
Brunson.
Yeah,
It's been Brunson for 2 years straight.
I thought it was somebody else this season.
Now I believe it was still Brunson this year too.
Nah, he was doing that last series too with the flopping and everything. Cool, whatever gives the team the advantage. That's cool. All I'm saying is this. It reminds me of the whole when everybody was going crazy for Frank Ntilikina. Oh my gosh, that dude.
don't even mention Frank. God.
Yeah, when people was going crazy.
We booed the Knicks for that.
And my thing, yeah, they booed Dennis Smith Jr. for Frank Ntilikina. My point is this: if one of your skill sets, like if your offense is bad or subpar, but your defense is elite, I could deal with that. If it's vice versa, I could deal with that. Now, as far as a 7-footer like Cat goes, I don't know. I don't think he's a real center. He likes to face up. He plays more like a power forward. You could easily
he is a power forward
position. He is.
He is a power forward. He's playing out of position like Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if we getting on somebody like Cat, then it's safe to assume we could get on somebody like Stoudemire too, right? Because wasn't his defense trash?
Definitely.
Honestly, if you want me to really be honest about Cat, he really played like a 3 for real, just really tall, a really tall 3.
Yo, homie was
be real about it.
He was making Miles Turner look like a guard.
Right, and he rebounds like a front court player, like a
Yeah.
power forward and center. So, by the way, Tamani Kamara from Portland led the league in charges. He's going to be one of these damn near Kawhi, Drew Holiday type of dudes. He looks amazing. Then Podemski from Golden State, and then Jalen Brunson was third. And that was charges per game and charges per 36, same thing. But total charges drawn, it was Kamara, Reeves, Austin Reeves, and Jalen Brunson. So Brunson was third this year, but again, and that's another thing why we got to win sooner. We got to win sooner because at some point, all them charges drawn and shit, and the way Jalen Brunson plays, that's not gonna last another 5-7 years. We got to win as soon as possible, bro, because that wear and tear is gonna be crazy, fellas. Totally appreciate y'all jumping in. The chat was amazing. I'm gonna cut. I gotta start cutting up y'all phone calls and chopping them up because we got to show y'all love, man. Y'all be showing us love. Don P, appreciate you, jumping on board. Monkey Wrench, always showing love, and LB always showing love. King Speech always showing love. Everybody in the chat. La Tulia was in the building. Darlene the Queen was in the building. Everybody was in the building. Fish, I seen you. David Smith. See, I shouted out Cat the whole time. David Smith, how dare you ever doubt me? You know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Wow.
Yo,
wow. Yo, salute to you, man. I'm gonna mute y'all mics. Tomorrow we'll probably be back on 7 o'clock, man. AllBall TV. Y'all know the motto, man. They scared, but I'm not. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
Deja un like, comentario.
Y suscribe.